May I come in?
You have to ask? Right. Yeah, you have to ask. Yeah, okay. Yes.
No,
Don't you have to ask? I thought that was a thing.
No, that's just etiquette. Hello, and welcome to Dice Friends here on the Loading Ready Run Network. You're about to watch a beautiful, beautiful, wonderful show, but first, we want to thank our sponsors over at Dragon Shield. We're actually going to be using their player companions during the show that you are about to see. If you want to get some of these, you can head over to dragonshield.com and use the code LRRMTG5 to get 5% off this beautiful product and anything else on their store. And if you like tabletop RPG games and are inspired to pick up some PDFs from this game and thousands, literally thousands of others, you can check out our affiliate code down below to DriveThruRPG. And if you want to support us directly, you can subscribe on Twitch, you can become a member on YouTube, or you can head on over and subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Thank you very much and enjoy the show. Hello, and welcome to Dice Friends. My name is Jacob Burgess, and I am absolutely overjoyed to be returning to you in these nights as your storyteller for Not a Drop to Drink, A Tale of Vancouver Island by Night, our Vampire 5th Edition Chronicle. So why don't we start with you, Cam, and I say before we begin, welcome back.
Thanks, Jacob. Hi, I'm Cameron. My pronouns are he, him. I'm playing Silas Reed, whose pronouns are also he, him. Silas is a vampire, a warlock of Clan and House Tremere. His entire concept is that he is very, very good. He, like all his grandmother thinks he's just a perfect little guy. And he's obedient, he's thorough, and conscientious, and he's starting to feel extremely lied to about being a vampire.
Can you tell us a little bit about House and Clan Tremere?
House and Clan Tremere are the vampire warlocks who are 100% legitimate vampires who did not steal blood from anyone. That is a vicious lie. It's a rumor. It's completely baseless. We're not descended from mortal mages who don't exist. Definitely not. And we've been here the whole time. The whole time, and you should definitely not kill us all because we're extremely useful. Yeah, also our main source of power and most of our elders were absolutely not killed by mortals recently. Because we got sloppy and arrogant. That doesn't sound like us at all. Corey, Team Lefty, go.
Hi, I'm Coriander Dickinson, pronouns she, her. I'm playing Jordynne Hinkleman, pronouns she, her. Jordan's a Bruja. She's the child of the Bruja Archon from Vancouver, who is now here in Vancouver Island, setting up Elysium, maybe trying to, get a little practice of his own. Yeah. Mostly I have a van, and I give people rides in the van.
Which nothing bad ever happens to.
This is the second van. It's like the Enterprise.
Hey, don't sell yourself short. You're also our tank.
That's Van's tank.
No, I'm the Vanguard.
Oh no.
Van God.
I
All right, we haven't even started. I have to reward that. Take an experience point, please. That. Oh god, that was good. Yes. Oh.
Yeah, Bruja are the rebels and the against the authority figure types. Even though they stretch back to Carthage and the philosopher kings, and they definitely are the real Brujas. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that were always there.
Always there.
Mm-hmm. Heather.
Hello. My name's Heather Deary. She, they. My character is Jessica Chadwick. She, her. She is a Toreador. She's very fast. She's very probably annoying to many others, but perfect otherwise. She's great.
Mm. And what can you tell us about her particular clan of vampires?
The Toreador?
Yeah.
They, as far as they're concerned, at least from what I can tell, made the Camarilla. And they can see everything that's beautiful and great, and everybody else is trash.
No lies detected.
I cannot dispute that. That is I feel a very apt description, and this is coming from someone who owns a Toreador t-shirt.
Adam?
Hello, my name is Adam Savadan. I am a he, him. I am playing Oliver Tyndall, also a he, him. He is a newly minted Kaitif vampire. He's not a mage, doesn't own a van. He's not pretty. It's kind of annoying. A little sad, like all the time. Really struggling with the newly found gift of immortality. He used to be a substitute industrial arts teacher or shop teacher, I guess, if you're from the United States. Yeah, he is he's something else. Let's put it that way.
Mm. And what can you tell us about this group of vampires called Kaitif?
Kaitif? They have no clan. They're clanless. And as far as I've been told, that is a thing that is not really looked upon with any form of compassion in the vampire community. Yeah, that is, he doesn't get a lot of breaks, I would imagine, for being a Kaitif. He also doesn't, I don't know if does a Kaitif not know who their master is ever, usually?
So, a lot of times it really depends.
Yeah.
Kaitif are often anomalies as well, because there's a debate if it's nature versus nurture. Because sometimes you can know who your sire is and still end up not having all of the markers that usually come along with passing the curse or clan bane down in the blood. Mm-hmm. You don't have access to those disciplines, and yeah, it really depends. Most people think it's because your blood is too thin to not actually absorb or have the actual markings of what it means to be in a clan.
Didn't get the athletic genes from his parents, basically. Yeah.
But being a Kaitif comes with a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
Because you can access a lot of stuff people don't know what you're capable of. A lot of times it's this vampires of this clan. They have a list of general powers. I generally know what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
When it's a Kaitif, people are like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Neither does Oliver. So
Yep.
It's cool.
Yeah, they're mostly scared of you.
Shouldn't be.
They don't know what you can do, so.
Yeah, they don't know what I do, and neither does Oliver. So he has no idea.
So just to set expectations for the audience, this is series 3 of Not a Drop to Drink, A Tale of Vancouver Island by Night. And this is going to be our final season, our final series. And if you want to catch up on it, you can go to, youtube.com/LRRTT.
Yes.
Lrit, which I think is a sound Busta Rhymes makes.
Mm-hmm.
If you go look in the playlists, you'll find playlists for the 2 different series.
You'll find playlists for the 2 different series.
Also, remember, it's not a drop to think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
It's okay, I got it for you.
Not a throp to drink?
Not a throp to think?
We are not a throp. Not a throp at all. No throps here.
I don't know what a throp is.
Yeah, did I just say a slur?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
There's a non-zero chance. What the fuck was I saying?
I wasn't listeking.
You were setting expectations. You were telling
Yeah.
the fans that
Yeah, we've got if you want to kind of get a recap or a refresher, we did a session 0 where we went over a lot of the safety rules for this series, because even if you are with like a crew that you've been with for a while and you all trust each other, it's just good to check in because circumstances can change, and it's been a little while since we've done this, which that's just the reality of stuff. So if you want to go back to session 0, we also just kind of do, like, if you want to hang out with us a little bit more, we do just a casual little table talk, like recap as players in real time, or like reminding ourselves of what happened and kind of where our characters are at. So speaking of where we're at, how are y'all feeling being back?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excited.
excited.
Here.
Present.
Present.
And accounted for.
Present.
Yeah.
I should have.
I mean, we all know that this is the last campaign, but our characters don't.
Oh, I wouldn't tell them.
No.
She'd just not show up at that point.
I think it's already a risk telling you.
Oh, I mean, it's just a risk telling us anything, though.
What would be the great bait and switch is being at the end telling us, no, we're coming back for one more. It would be like Twitter making likes visible again.
I would not put that beyond me. But that is not.
At time of recording, is this
At
the
time
last...
of recording.
Can we cube
This
that?
is the truth. Yeah.
You want to keep
All right,
season
everyone,
4?
drive it like it's rented.
So
JK. It was actually leased.
just to remind everybody what the cube is, it's one of my house rules. I have 3 house rules that I use. We went over a lot of them in session 0, but I'll remind you what the cube is. The cube is essentially a little metaphorical box that if any of my players say anything that they don't want me to then fold into the game or turn into something that belongs in Vampire, in the World of Darkness and the tone, we can cube it, which is you put it in the box and it never comes out. So if we say, do you want to cube that? That's what that means. Just do you want to delete it from the lexicon and just have it be a bit instead of something that Jacob goes, yes, and then folds in the game while making those sounds in his own head.
No.
We'll just edit in that sound effect underneath every time you have like this weird shit-eating grin on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really hate how accurate that was. I really hate that. That sucks out loud. Okay. Anyway, so we're all feeling great being back. Good. So let's just at the end of session 0, we kind of did a little recap of like where the island is at now, because we are going to move forward in time 6 months. And at the end of session 0, I'd asked everybody to, just think about where you want your characters to be at after 6 months, like based off of the end of the last series. So where the island is at now, just to kind of remind and refresh everybody, is the Archon, your sire, and the Archon is usually like around Vancouver, but they travel absolutely everywhere because they work for the Justicar of the Camarilla, which is like, they try to be vampire government, essentially, and maintain the masquerade to make sure that all vampires are good and they have propaganda and blah, blah, blah. So it's like the Inner Council, the Justicars, and then the Archons are sort of the enforcers for vast swaths of land and areas. Yes! Adam!
Do vampires take like the airline?
Yeah.
Do they like fly like normal people?
They
Like
have
humans?
They have to time it correctly.
Yeah.
But travel, especially
drive
now,
everywhere.
is very difficult, which is part of the reason why after the advent of what's called the Second Inquisition, like very, very few mortals, like tucked away in various like intelligence agencies and things like that, are starting to get a little bit wise to vampires, essentially. They don't know that they're vampires. They think that they're this like weird extraterrestrial threat, depending on who they are and things. It's not a tightly packed organization. It's like a bunch of Mulder and Scullys that kind of call each other sometimes and go like, what'd you find? And then occasionally they have SWAT teams and high technology and just mess things up. Definitely not the Tremere. So travel is very difficult. They're monitoring a lot of like technology and communication. So it is now more difficult in these nights for vampires to contact each other. That's why like having cell phones is like especially if you're like in the Camarilla sect, which is, you know, traditional like vampire government, is like a big risk. Yeah. So Quinn, the sheriff here, even having cell phones and having given you these burner phones is like, he's like skirting the rules here, but there are political reasons for that.
As I recall, the thing we were incredibly excited about in Series 1 was that the ferries are all night now.
Yes. The ferry,
Yes.
the BC ferry is running 24 hours.
Dark world is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets better all the time. It's really weird.
Because the folks in Vancouver started getting mortal agents within the BC ferry system, and, you know, vampires get into governments and try to change things and things like that.
Can they fix our like sewage too? Like, what other infrastructure are they working on?
They're working on getting us an IKEA.
Why have an IKEA when you have a perfectly good Home Depot?
Perfectly good Home Depot.
True.
Not Canadian Tire?
No,
No.
it's not the same.
No.
That's
No,
not
the
the
best
same
they've
at
been able
all.
to do
was-
for us is a yes.
Yeah, Canadian Tire was only good like 20 years ago.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
If you want to smell tires, go to Canadian,
Canadian
Tire.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I
If you
think they
wanna-
might actually just pump that in.
Yeah.
You want to huff a tire?
Sometimes there's no tires present. It just smells like that.
Yeah.
Like a casino. Your sire came over and is attempting to support the Camarilla effort here because it was Quinn and the sheriff who deputized you. And Quinn had a couple of ghouls helping him out, and that was it. It really seemed like the Anarchs, the other faction, had a lot more manpower and were really trying to what's called claiming praxis, which is claiming domain over the island. The island was closed up until about 2 years ago. We are moving forward 6 months, so that's going to be about 3 years ago now. And for whatever reason, vampires were disappearing here. So moving forward, your sire has set up an Elysium, has brought over Chansey, the rock god, and the monsters, who, except for one of them, are all kindred in order to help establish a stronger Camarilla presence on the island. They had driven out the Anarchs from the junkyard in Series 1, and they are currently now, like on the other side of the water in Esquimalt, in the like the ferry or the quarries and everything over in that area is kind of where they're at politically. There are still, even though you killed Brother Sweetwater, who was the Sabbat, which is a vampire religious cult, who is the leader of the Sabbat in the area, or at least so you were told, which was leading to a bunch of the Thin Bloods like becoming a problem, which was the major thing that was taking up Quinn's time, which is why he wanted to get your help maintaining the masquerade, and offered you a lot of really good stuff. Both Chains and Quinn on both sides seem to be trying to recruit you because they want more people and they want to really establish their presence for their sect on this island. So there are still Thin Bloods and still a Thin Blood problem that Chains or that Quinn has to deal with. Quinn has largely been dealing with that on his own. It's not as bad as it was before, it seems, but Quinn has kind of been sent out into the wider island to try to take care of this problem. It is very, very dangerous to go anywhere north of Saanich. Vampires that go that far tend to not come back because a lot of lupines have been spotted, more than the 3 that you all encountered. So they're watching out for those of your kind.
Saanich is like halfway through the city.
Yep.
Is 3 considered like a lot?
Well, for vampires, yeah. 1 is considered a lot. It's they are.
I don't quite understand the threat that werewolves pose to vampires. It's a lot.
Yeah, like a werewolf will pick up, I don't know, chains and use him as a nunchuck
Yeah.
in order to beat knives to death.
Yeah, so think about how powerful, like the most powerful vampire that you've encountered so far really has been Chains, like big, stompy, huge guy. Chains could go one-on-one with a werewolf for 30 seconds. Yeah, all of their claws do aggravated damage. They hate vampires just as a rule. Not Kindred call them lupines, but they're walking tanks. They as a general rule hate vampires.
They got some anger management issues.
A little bit, yeah.
The fact that we survived is like a really cool thing.
Yeah, you have a lot of like, if you tell people that and can prove it and have people back you up, that's a lot of social standing. The fact that you just survived a lupine encounter And not only that, but like got away from them and like set one on fire. Huge. Yeah. Cool. All right. So that's where we're at. So as this is a collaborative storytelling thing, I want to give you a lot of onus and control over all of the other pieces of where we're at, because mostly centered around your character. I want you to tell me where your character's at, and if you tell me that something has changed on the island,
It hasn't been a good 6 months for Oliver.
okay.
He obviously had a bit of a grace period. Like, he's only been a vampire for what? Not even a year now? I guess a year now, right? It was
3
only like
months,
3
9
months, 9 months? Yeah, not even a year into. And he obviously is still struggling with a lot of like the rules, and I think the hardest part for him especially has been adjusting to the, I guess, juxtaposition, I guess is the word I'm looking for, from going human to having like a structure and obeying, like there's rules when you're human, being told you're immortal and you're powerful. And with that becomes, I would assume, the assumption, oh, I can do whatever I want now. But it's like, now there's even more rules and there's more structure being like shown to him, but not truly really explained that well. Or a lot of it is explained to him, but a lot of this stuff is just assumed that he's going to know it. And while there are people teaching him, there's just like so much information like coming around, and he's not dealing with it well.
He feels overwhelmed.
He feels overwhelmed, and he also feels like no one's on his side. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But that's the way Oliver feels. And all he wants is, he's gone from his human life where he was not successful and a bit of an outcast and not really respected, to a life where now he has to live forever, where he's an outcast, not respected, and basically just treated like he was as a human. Like nothing has changed as far as like his standing.
Okay.
If anything, it got worse.
Okay.
Because he's a baby vampire in a world of people that are just like much stronger and more powerful and much more authority than him. So he spent like 6 months basically wrestling with that kind of thought process. He's been miserable to be around. I don't think any three of you would be extremely, not unhappy, but obviously I'm not telling you how to play your characters, but it's like, I would assume that you have some sympathy for him, but at the same time, it's like, if someone's annoying, they're annoying.
We maybe avoided you a little
Yeah,
bit, especially
it's
at the
like,
end.
He's trying, and he's like, he just wants to make a friend, and he hasn't in 6 months. He spent a lot of time alone and a lot of time trying to learn how to do things, but there is a part of him that is kind of, I guess, the antithesis to that learning process, where it's like he's trying to learn, but at the same time, he's like, well, maybe I don't want to learn. Fuck them. You know what I mean? Like, you know, these people, like, am I not good enough? Like, if I'm not good enough, then I'm not going to try. You know what I mean? So he has spent a lot of time alone, and he spent time like trying to build some kind of a relationship with all three of you, to obviously not great success or varying degrees of success. I'm not going to tell you like how that feels for your character, but I'm just saying that he's made an attempt to just like, he needs somebody, and counteractively, like his human relationships, which he is trying to maintain, are getting worse, because every time he looks at all of them, you're all dead. That's all he can think about. It's like, all of my friends, you are all dead. Like, you are going to turn to dust, and I'm going to go on, and I'm stuck here. Like, what am I going to do? Who am I going to play poker with in 30 years? Yep. What's 30 years? Right? Like, what is that? It's nothing. That's a drop in the pool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, there's a lot to take in, and 6 months isn't a lot of time to change anything. So if anything, I would assume that this process got a lot worse, a lot quicker before it gets better.
Okay. How do you see Oliver kicking out of it?
Unsure. Okay. Maybe getting a bit more, because I would assume that we've been very like, after the death of Brother Sweetwater, then our like duties, Reverend Brother Sweetwater, sorry.
He's dead. It doesn't matter.
A lot of our duties have like slowed down. Like we weren't as busy as we were the first 3 months or whatever.
Yeah, there's not as much activity, especially because, like, if you want to say that, you like, we were busy and I've been ignoring work, and that's fine. Like, it truly is up to you. But yeah, activity
I wouldn't say he's
easily
been
dropped off.
Avoiding work, but it's definitely not as like, I'm going to assume it's not been as structured like you four go here. This is your game plan now. It's like more like, you know, Silas went over here and Joe went off over there and
Everyone has kind of their own
Oliver
things
has
to
a day
do.
off and he's like, what do I do? Like, you know, it's a normal kind of like what I would assume is a vampire 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Like kind of.
You did all agree to work for Quinn, helping him maintain the masquerade.
Yeah.
But Quinn's off on his own, so you've been answering directly to Knives.
Yes.
Knives has been the one to send you out, and Knives has his own crew.
Yeah.
So let's say Knives has been fairly laissez-faire with you four.
I would assume he'd be more laissez-faire with Oliver, who's new and like, you know what I mean? Like I would say so. Like
If anybody has reached out over these 6 months, it would be Knives.
okay, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
if
take
anybody
that.
has reached out, it'd be Knives, because Knives, you are a risk to
Yes.
Knives, to the masquerade. Thinks you're great. Thinks
Yeah.
you're cool.
But
You're
I,
a risk to
I
the
am
masquerade.
definitely. I know. I'm not even going to doubt. Like I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Oliver is a risk
Yeah.
too. Like he's gonna, you know, and he can't really go during the day, so it's like the whole schedule thing is sort of shifted, and I don't know how that would be. Like I keep thinking about like the adjustment period from going human to being like you're up all day, and as someone who's never worked like had to work like a night shift or anything like that.
Yep.
Like I'm assuming the transition period is longer than 9 months.
It is tough
from person to person. So he is just, I don't think 6 months is that long of a time for where Oliver was when we left off.
Okay.
From that big of a stretch,
Okay.
other than just being kind of miserable.
Yeah.
You know,
Is he still okay with Quinn paying all his bills?
I don't think he's even, I think a part of him would definitely think he's owed that. Because
okay.
he didn't choose this life.
Okay.
It's kind of like having medical.
Okay.
You know, as far as like,
Yeah.
you know, he pays his taxes.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
he did pay his taxes, so he thinks that this is just like,
This is what he's owed.
this is vampire tax.
Okay.
Yeah, this is.
Got it. Okay.
There is a part of him deep down that's like, I kind of am your problem now. I didn't choose this. I didn't want to be like this.
Okay.
Because
Cool.
there would be parts of him. I can't see a human being in Oliver's situation not reacting that way.
Of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. But you as a player,
Yeah.
this is a tough, like, just thinking about this is from a character standpoint, tough place for a character to get out of.
Yeah.
Where do you want Oliver to go? Up to and including more down.
Yeah.
Or do you want
Not
that
more
to happen
down, just a
organically?
purpose. Like he doesn't feel like he's a part of anything. Oliver that's all Oliver's ever wanted. I mean, he's been a substitute teacher for 30 years. A substitute teacher, like never had a regular gig.
Yep.
Right.
So he wants a purpose.
he wants to feel like he's a part of something.
Yeah.
And he's not. Everyone's ignoring him,
Okay.
you know?
All
or
right.
he feels like, I mean, they might not be ignoring him. I think that the big thing about Oliver is deep down, he knows people care, but they're not interested.
Okay.
Like he has people, and by care I mean like he's a part of a thing that has rules and they don't want him to risk those rules.
Yep.
And he understands that part of it. He's like, okay, well, I do have to take a degree of responsibility as being part of this thing. I didn't ask for it, but this is my life now. That doesn't mean I have to like it, but he just feels like while people would care if he screwed up or did something, they're not like really interested in like giving him like either a friendship or opportunities or like anything. Like, you know, that's just his perspective. And that is most likely not the case. Usually with these things is like Oliver feels like kind of he's being a petulant child.
Yeah. Okay.
He's being a teenager. He's
Got
a
it.
teenager
He's-
in a
he's-
55-year-old's body because
Yep.
he's new to being a vampire.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
That was-
he knows how teenagers work. So, because he's been around them his whole
Yeah.
life. So he's just co-opted a lot of that vibe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Corey, you want to add to that?
I just wanted to know what happened with Stalks by Night.
He wanted to bond Stalks by Night. Or like take Stalks by Night as a familiar.
Stalks
That's
by
actually, I guess that's really the only friend he's had those last 6 months.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
So
It's the only
you-
person who would talk to him for longer than like, and he can say whatever he wants. And she asks questions.
Yeah.
Like she actually asks things, you know, and that's all Oliver wants.
Okay. So Stalks by Night is currently his only companion.
Yes.
Okay. And his familius.
If that is allowed, yes.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
Does Stalks by Night have to say yes or no? Like, how does it work? Do I just get to do it, or is it like
you can just say, "Hey, I think I've got this blood that's going to make you more powerful." We're going to say that it happens, but let's explore how that happened maybe a little bit later.
Okay.
Does that work?
I don't think Oliver would want to do it if Stalks by Night said no.
Oh no, Stalks by Night wants to be a powerful hunter.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you can make Stalks by Night a more powerful hunter.
Yeah, I don't think Oliver would word it that way though.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. But let's explore that a little bit later.
Yeah.
That sound good?
Yeah,
All right.
but that's essentially, I would say that kind of wraps up what Oliver's been up to.
Okay. Ooh, it's rough.
Which is
buddy.
like not much, but also a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot has been happening internally.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. One last question, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Chains, back in series 1, Chains offered to get him work as a substitute teacher because Chains is a substitute teacher.
Yeah.
He teaches classics and Shakespeare specifically. Would he have done anything with that, or just broken off contact because he's sad and just having a pity party, which is fine.
I think he's more in the pity party.
He's in pity
side
party.
of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So just a man alone with his cougar.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Cool. Excellent. All right. Who would like to go next?
I can go.
have taken notes. Yes, please.
So I think, maybe things have slowed down for the group as a whole getting stuff, but I think Jordan's been busy spinning plates, basically, like doing stuff for Johnny with Elysium and maintaining control, and possibly like if there's any like if Johnny's busy,
Yep.
then she can step in and coordinate stuff with other like higher ranking people that might visit.
Okay.
Also doing a bit of investigation on T-Buck's client list with Silas. And hanging out with Jessica,
I'm learning things.
learning things. Doing gun training a little bit, maybe.
She's
Like-
not got better at guns,
Not
but
better at
she'll still
guns.
try.
And maybe getting Jessica some attention from people, like, oh, you can do the interior decoration for Elysium here at the Prince and Pauper, like make it all moody and stuff.
Something very much to note is that Knives is keeping any other Camarilla representatives out of the island right now. So anything that happens is like all at distance, or he sends somebody. Usually one of the monsters will make runs. One of them is very, very good at just avoiding everything.
Okay.
And getting over to, not necessarily Vancouver, because Vancouver has been an independent city for a very long time. It might be going over to the Camarilla. That situation that you know that situation, you can all have this information if you want, has been, like, it's really been steadily, like, getting, like, the feeling is that within a couple of years, if not tomorrow, they're going to declare for the Camarilla. It's going to happen. Yeah. But even the Camarilla representatives that are in Vancouver, like doing negotiations and wheeling and dealing and all that fun stuff, they're like, oh, let's go check out the island. Knives just says, no, it's not safe. Yeah, he's keeping folks out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but like with what is the vibe around that? Is there a feeling like, oh, they're going to declare for the Camarilla and that's going to go great? Or is it they're going to declare for the Camarilla and it's going to fall into civil war?
All of the information that you're getting about that is coming through Knives. So it's going to go great.
Okay.
It's going to be great.
I don't see him telling us otherwise.
When you said he sends one of his monsters, what do you mean by that?
So Chansey, if you remember from series 2, the last episode, episode 8, you met a band. His kind of like crony was Chansey and the Monsters.
Oh, okay.
So
It's not like
Chansey is the guy that talks like this. Hey, how you doing? What's up? Who is just publicly in a monster band. So it's Chansey the Rock God and the Monsters.
Yeah.
And the Monsters, there are 3 band members. 2 of them are vampires. 1 of them is a ghoul. And that's kind of like the Camarilla presence that have been doing things for
You just meant like the
him.
band might name it.
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
like
the band named the Monsters.
It wasn't
yeah.
a weird. Like,
Well, I mean, they are also monsters,
well,
but I
thought
understand
it was
what
just
you
like
mean.
there was like a term that I didn't know.
No, literally just the band name.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chansey the Rock God and the Monsters. And then the other thing was the client list.
Yeah.
A lot of the client list that you've been looking into that you got from T-Buck is like people in the government around the Lower Mainland.
Okay.
Like those were a lot of the client list was like essentially trying to, at least what you've been able to put together was it seemed like the Sabbat were trying to get their tendrils into the government of everywhere outside of Vancouver. Or I'm sorry, Victoria. Victoria proper. So that's the most you've been able to go. If you want to explore that further, you can, but that's the farthest you've been able to go.
Yep.
Yep.
And yeah, I think the rest is just giving people rides.
I have a thing to add.
Yeah.
Actually, Oliver would have tried to go to vampire parties,
He would have tried to go to Elysium.
or just I don't know. Is there
Well, you're
vampire?
free at Elysium. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Elysium, yeah. You could
it's
have gone
like,
there.
If
Yeah.
there's vampire dinner parties, or like you know what I mean?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
is that
that's
what
exactly
is?
it. Yeah.
And they would not have gone well.
Did he bring the plate from Monica?
Yeah, he would have brought his own like
His plates
When
and
he heard like
everything,
somebody would have said to him like, "We're having
You're
a
welcome
dinner
to
party."
Elysium, yeah.
No, we're having a dinner party, and he showed up with like his own plate and stuff. But it's like actually feeding, like
Yeah.
to him, and he's like, "Oh,
That's something that 3 months in, Knives started to institute was Elysium, and Elysium is all vampires welcome, neutral ground, no disciplines.
okay."
So every once in a while, an anarch will show up, and they're not, because Knives is who Knives is. They're not necessarily fancy shishi parties. You know, they're usually like rock concerts or like just like
a little more grunge.
chill, more grunge vibes. Because Knives is who Knives is. You've never once seen him with anything more than like a tank top, usually shirtless under the leather jacket. Yeah, he's so you could have shown up and just been like, just that guy standing in the corner, just like bobbing to the music.
That's Oliver.
Yeah, and Knives has like tried and been like had animals and stuff because he like you showed up probably twice and then just didn't show up anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, Oliver would have tried like maybe 3 or 4 times,
Okay.
and it's definitely like, yeah. I don't want to get too distracted. I just wanted to
Sure.
say like he made it.
No problem.
Jessica could have called it a dinner party.
Yeah.
Just to try to relate it as something to you, and,
Yeah.
and that we could have gone with that for a.
Everyone else just has like shooters of blood, and you have a hot dog.
Yeah.
It's like a dinner party, so dress up.
Yeah, and Oliver dressing up is like Canadian tuxedo. Like
Yeah.
he's a
Yeah. Monica has like there was one night where Monica was the caterer and brought various samples of blood and things like that because she has greater access than anybody else does on
do you
the
have
island.
like parties where you're like, yeah, you can taste the kohler?
She tried to do that on the second night
Yeah.
and it did not go well because nobody gave a crap. Yeah, and she was like, okay. And we're done doing that. Everybody just gets the regular stuff. Fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, here's a bunch of different whiskeys from all over the world.
Clang,
I'm just
clang,
bringing,
clang,
yeah,
clang.
Alright.
I'm just bringing Crown Royale from now on.
Right.
Yeah.
So as far as like Jordan wheeling and dealing, then it would be those people like Monica or
Yep.
Chains.
Yeah,
or...
it would be Monica or Chains. Yeah,
Yeah.
those folks. Yep. Chains did show up on the, so that has been instituted for 3 months. There was an instance where Chains was there. Quinn walked in, saw Chains, immediately left
Aw.
Aw.
because they used to date.
Been there, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. He left. And then, does anybody pay attention to the news or the newspaper or anything like that regularly?
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like us or the vampire.
No, your characters.
Nope.
Oliver does, but he watches Fox News, or like that equivalent.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's you
Well,
know.
it's free.
I got better
Yeah,
things
it's
to
the only
do.
one that's free.
Yeah. I'm not saying Oliver's not like outwardly like he obviously dislikes Trudeau, like that's his thing, but he's not like
He doesn't know any better.
yeah.
Yeah. That's the vibe I always got from the previous
Oliver
years.
just doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
you know?
He just needs to be exposed to more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jordan will mostly like check the weather, but everything else will be word of mouth, just so she has like conversation things with people.
Okay.
Silas feels like it's his responsibility to follow like what's going on in the mortal world,
Okay.
and just in case there is what was there was an operation that was disguised under a NATO live fire exercise
Yes.
in Europe. Mm-hmm. So he's just watching, like the sites that track flights just in case somebody drops a JDAM on him.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. So just to kind of clarify that a little bit, that means like a SI operation was disguised, like Second Inquisition operation was disguised as a NATO live fire operation so that they could sneak in without the rest of the mortal world knowing and go and kill some vampires. Yeah.
Yeah, like I read that in the book. That wasn't me like into the GM sections of the book.
No,
like,
don't worry, but I don't care.
Okay.
Really.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not if you want to just deep dive stuff, oh, yeah, no, I'm going to be the one to stop you from learning more about vampire. No, absolutely. No. Slurp it up. Do you want the SI book? Here you go. You can just read it.
Kind of.
Not right now, but you just take that home. That's fine.
Next section, next campaign can be Delta Green, but in vampire.
Wait, please stop giving them boners. Stop. We don't know what the future is going to hold. You got to stop, man. You got to stop. Put it away. Tell me what's going on with your character.
Okay, Silas is really, really, really keen to get the Tremere Chantry built.
But you can just tell me it's done.
Okay, cool.
Great. Where is it?
In 6 months? How big is it?
Well, it wasn't built. It was Monica and Chains were both trying to cover a boon for his sire to get him a piece of property to create the Tremere Chantry. So it could already be a building that's extant.
I guess it's who did you go with?
Yeah, who did you go with?
Okay. Silas would have spent a large amount of those 6 months essentially like just traveling all around Victoria, going through all the back streets, doing like occult roles, and he has a speciality in science for ecology.
Sure.
And he is looking for places that aren't going to get like swamped by climate change or flattened by an earthquake.
Okay.
Right? He wants this place to like still be here in 500 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also looking for places wherever like whatever the Tremere believe about ley lines or
depends.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Whatever his sire wants, you know, he's going to try to make it happen. So he's just traveling all around the city like with a plumb bob or whatever, or a pendulum, like looking for the correct place, right? Like a place of power. And I was thinking one of two locations, possibly. One is the decommissioned observatory near the water. He just thinks that'd be cool.
Okay, cool villain
Yeah.
lair. Like,
It's a villain lair. It's his lair.
It's like Dr. Wily's castle.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like,
You
I'm
can
gonna
keep an-
make an army of robots and they're going to
No
kill Mega
vampires
Man.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like
Big skull.
You can keep
he's
an
been
eye
to
on
the
the ocean.
Chantry in like Toronto, I assume, and a Chantry in like Vancouver. I don't know where they have them in Canada.
There is a Chantry in Vancouver. Most of Canada has been controlled by the Sabbat for a very long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's been
Especially
to one or
Montreal.
two of them, and he thought they were like, well, this is a little pedestrian.
All right. Got it. Yo.
Cameron, Oliver would have offered to help because he
Yes.
heard you said you wanted to build something.
Yes.
But this is what happened, I think. He showed up to the work site and then was treated like a minimum wage worker, and he didn't come back.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because he, while Silas is doing this,
Not say
no,
minimum wage like it's a bad thing. He was treated like it was his like first day
Yeah.
ever on the job.
yeah, he was treated like a day laborer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
While he's doing this, Silas is like trying to reach out to people to make sure that all these connections stay live and like people know that he is thinking about them. But it probably comes across as him only reaching out when he needs something.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
he's
yeah.
trying to like
Like that person only asks you to move when that's it, but they'll never like.
That's when your friend becomes an Avon lady and all they do is tell you about
well,
the Avon
like,
sales.
He's trying. He knows you
That's
all
weirdly
have shit
specific.
going on in your lives,
Yep.
and is trying not to bother you with
But it comes across
piddly,
as,
like
yeah.
useless stuff. Like, hey, what you up to? Silas doesn't roll like that because he's like he respects other people's time too much.
Yeah.
He
That's fair.
hates us all.
Yeah. No, I
Wait to
like
get rid of us.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that he like he would contact Oliver for like his advice on like is this property good? What do you think?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know, how's the plumbing or the electrical or the
Yeah.
structure of it all?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think of this? And he would contact Jessica for, like, he needs ritual implements, right? Like, you know, that might be something he comes to Oliver for as well. Like, I need like a silver chalice to do a ritual.
Yeah.
Can you make me one? Right? Or he might come to Jessica for that.
Yeah.
Depending on, you know.
She'd just tell you to go to Michael's.
Fair. Right? And he would, like,
Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, I'm just imagining Silas, well dressed, just not meek, but so gentle. Silas being like, "I need this specific thing that's sort of like that looks a little bit like the Mother Mary in order to evoke blah 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 blah," and Jessica just being like, "Just go to Michael's."
yeah, you
Just
can
go to
get those on
Michael's.
Wish.com for
Yeah.
50 for a.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
like
100
she
bucks.
doesn't- she
Tried
doesn't think
Value
it's cool.
Village.
How many rituals do you need to do? You can get 100 for about $20.
Dollars, yeah, man. So many dowels.
Don't buy the brand name. They're gouging you.
No.
And he would call Joe because Joe said, you know, if you ever need anything.
Yep.
Right? And, like, he would be working on following T-Buck's, like, list of stuff. And when that dried up, he'd be like, well, I don't want to bother Joe because I know she's busy, but I do need a ride.
Yeah.
And you said that 6 months have passed, so that puts us into winter?
No, you were in November at the
November?
end of it last. So November,
Okay.
December, January, February, March, April.
Right. He would
So
have
hit
been
spring.
spending everything up until, like, April or, like, yeah. Nights are getting shorter.
Yep.
And so he's been trying to get as much
2018.
Yeah, as much possible done while the nights are long.
Yeah.
Because when they start getting short, then it's just like, I don't know, I can get up at 11 and I have to be back in bed by 4.
Yeah.
So that just basically means I have to feed.
Yeah.
And then go back to sleep.
Yeah. Important rules note, by the way. You can wake up during the day. It is easier to will yourself to do that the higher your humanity.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then otherwise Silas is just like traveling around being like, I guess I'm an immortal, beautiful predator of the night and I'm riding around the back streets on my bicycle.
Okay.
Is this
Oliver, if you only, I know you would never say that to Oliver, but Oliver would never relate to somebody more than if you had told him that. Like,
Yeah.
You're just like, I am supposed to be the apex predator, and you're like, put on your bike helmet.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah, he's got,
a
like,
little look back.
nobody will make him like you can't get a black bicycle helmet, right? So it's just like orange,
blue and orange, and like,
Especially because it's at night. It's got all the
Yeah.
reflectors on it and stuff.
yeah, and he's just like
got a
this
reflector vest on.
Yeah, I
Does
was
he
about
wear,
to
like,
say,
the
yeah,
vest? Yeah.
is, yeah,
One of those ones that actually have like the neon like glow stick thing.
yeah, and he's just like, I think this might suck.
Yeah.
He looks at him, caught himself in a mirror once, like
Oh, no.
waiting at a stop sign
Yeah.
in the bike lane, and he's just like, I'm a dork.
Yeah.
This sucks.
The important question here: who did you go with?
Oh,
Chains or Monica?
or Monica, or did you avoid them both and you asked Quinn for help? Now, Chains or Monica means you get away without a boon, but if you want to circumvent that and go with Quinn, you'll probably owe Quinn something. These are like the wealthiest people that you have access to.
okay. Theo is owed a boon from both Monica and Chains, right?
No.
No?
Owed a boon from Chains.
He would
Monica,
absolutely go with Chains.
Okay, because Monica had offered to essentially, like, take the boon from Chains for herself and do you this favor and transfer the boon to her.
Once he finds the property, if it's one that Chains can get,
Yep.
then he will go with Chains preferentially.
Oh, Chains can get anything.
Okay, then he would go with Chains. Just
Okay.
because the Hakata are trouble that Silas doesn't want. The Anarchs are trouble that he also doesn't want, but it's trouble that Theo's apparently comfortable with. And Silas kind of respects that, has to respect that, right?
Theo being your sire.
Yes,
Yep.
Theo is my sire. And the other like vibe you get from Silas is that he doesn't want to be alone right now. He is aware that Reverend Brothers Sweetwater was probably behind the Sabbat incursions, But the thin bloods are still cropping up and causing problems, and he feels vulnerable.
Okay.
He feels vulnerable. He knows that he knows that killing Sweetwater did not solve the problem. And that feels like that is clearly a loose end. Mm-hmm. It's still dangerous out there.
Yep.
And Silas is like, he's covering his tracks. He's being circumspect, but he's also aware that if he just disappears one night, that could be up to any number of circumstances.
Okay. All right. So a little paranoid. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Is there any questions anybody wants to ask or add to that? No. All right.
He also would have, he went with the observatory, and I think he is friends with an astronomer. Who's just
okay.
like,
so you want a new contact?
yeah.
Okay.
Or at least, like, he shows up. They work by night. He works by night.
Is it abandoned then?
Not abandoned. It's one of those places where it's like, we get a grant to operate this.
Okay.
Like, one person keeps the lights on.
Somebody's got to be there at night. It's that guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. I will run with that.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay. And Jessica.
Jessica's been busy. She's had 6 months. She spent some time with Jordynne, of course, because she wants to. She's supposed to learn more about the Camarilla from Jordynne, and it's easier to do that over there. But she's got this whole thing about seeking out the truth, so she's also been spending some time with the Anarchs.
Okay.
Yeah, she's just been kind of... So the way I kind of see her is, like, over the first 2 years, she was kind of insular and didn't go out much. She would have sent a lot of correspondence to Tripathy because it was something to do.
Tripathy being your sire.
Yes.
And the Toreador Primogen of independent Vancouver.
But as she's, like, started hanging out with this group, those correspondence have gotten less, and I think over the last 2 months she hasn't even sent one at all.
Okay.
Because it's just not as important to her. She has, so she's been hanging out with Jordynne, Anarchs, definitely with Monica a few times.
How's that relationship progressing, by the way?
I think it's gotten more comfortable,
Okay.
a little less awkward.
Okay.
I'm trying to feel like, I guess she, in the way that Silas has been with people, she's probably only really talked to him when he's bothered to call her about wanting things because he's been quite busy. I think she may have interacted with Oliver a couple of times, but after, like, if you've just said no, I'm not interested in going out or whatever, she's just like, oh, okay, whatever, and, like, apparently just takes off. I would have said, I'd say she's been to Elysium a couple of times.
Did you go when Monica did the catering?
Oh, absolutely. Of course she would have gone when Monica did the catering.
Mm-hmm. So someone cared.
One person cared.
All right.
She got a new job.
Uh-huh.
She doesn't work for Busby anymore. She does freelance work as a copywriter for, you know those press releases that go out that are like, oh, this restaurant has a new salad, and here are all the ingredients in the salad, and everything is crispy and crunchy and everything. Because as far as I'm concerned, as far as Jessica is, she's really great with drawing. She's over descriptive when it comes to writing. A picture is worth 1,000 words. She will write them all down. And that works really better in that context, weirdly enough. And they don't typically put your names on a byline for those, so
No, so she's working for a PR company.
yeah.
Okay, freelance for a PR company.
She would have gotten that recommendation from her teacher touchstone,
What was their name?
Wanda Sheffield.
Thank you.
She blood bonded T-Buck. I can't have T-Buck staying at Monica's place.
Where's he now?
In his house. She blood bonded him. She thinks that's fine.
Okay.
She's new at this.
Did you tell us?
Probably not. Well, no, she might have told Jordynne after she did it.
Holy crap. How we What the?
I mean, she
All
had
right.
access.
Yeah.
right?
No, she did. She 100% did. Okay,
I can't keep
so,
him there.
So, yeah. Adam, please.
Why is this so? Why that reaction?
So blood bonds.
Yeah. I've heard the term.
Yes,
Look,
indeed.
just because I did it doesn't mean
You can do it.
Yeah.
Well,
So
you should
Do as I say, not as I do, kind of situation. Yeah.
if you blood bond to blood bond, you can blood bond a mortal or a vampire.
Yeah.
If you get them to drink your blood.
Yeah.
Three
Oh,
separate
yeah,
nights.
yeah. Now I
And
remember.
it binds their will to you. It creates a ghoul if it's a mortal.
Yeah.
And they get like more powers, like powers that you have. Like they get some of the power of your blood. They stop aging. But they loves you. And that relationship can take a bunch of different forms. It can be horribly abusive and terrible, or it could be slightly less abusive and terrible. But they love you. You become the most important person to them. It's not everything's about you. Sometimes that happens, but it can take a lot of different forms and shapes.
Okay.
So you bloodbound T-Buck. So T-Buck, if you remember, was bloodbound to Brother Sweetwater.
Reverend brother.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Reverend Brother Sweetwater. Well done. Good job. Reverend Brother Sweetwater. So there is a come down period. You have to keep somebody off of the blood bond for like months, and then they have to make a roll. So he was chained in Monica's basement for like 4 months.
Yeah.
And was jonesing, and you took advantage of that and then bloodbound him. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, we sent him to, I think I referred to it as a detox tank or something.
Yep.
When we did that originally.
Yes. Yep. Anytime you went into the basement to do that, like Monica was with you to make sure that you didn't go past that first door. It's the same room that Marge was in series 2. T-Buck was kept fed, but pretty much like down there. So whatever happened to T-Buck's network probably fell apart.
Do you have like a TV in there or anything, or is he just sitting in a room chained up?
He's just probably sitting around.
Bro, what do you
chained up.
mean? You just have to sit there in that room?
Detoxing. Yeah.
Even people in detox get a TV or a book or something.
That's up to
We're
you.
not good people.
I'll brought him a book. I'll brought him some books. They're probably not to his
I'm just
taste.
thinking of this poor guy chained up in the ghost basement.
What are your convictions?
Best foot forward. And something about the truth.
So just to remind, convictions, there's a humanity track. Humanity does not mean good. It just means how close are you to the beast inside you? How much of a monster are you? And being human means a lot of different things. It doesn't mean being a good person. It just means being human. So long as you stick to the convictions that you have, you're able to keep the beast at bay. But the convictions don't have to be hearts and rainbows or flowers. Yeah. So it was best foot forward and...
The truth is important.
The truth is important. Okay. So by not telling anybody, do you feel like you're acting against that conviction?
No, because the truth is important to me, that I know the truth. Not that necessarily other people know the truth.
Ah, okay. So finding the truth. Got it. Okay. All right. So it's not like a paladin oath of conviction or anything, to use a 5e term, where you always got to tell the truth. Okay.
I think it probably makes sense that I told Jordan, though.
So...
Just so that she's not surprised that he's out.
All right. Well, I'm just going to... my little flow chart here that I've got.
But again, that would have been like after I'd already done it. Because I'm not going to tell people things that I think they might tell me not to do.
Yeah, so I'm just going to cross off what happened to T-Buck here. All right. Good. Yeah, T-Buck is just kind of gone back to his life. What are you having him do? Anything in particular? Or you're just like, you're bloodbound now so that you're not a problem. Go back to your house after 4 months of not being there?
Yeah. Essentially.
And just go live your life? And then you visit him once a month to give him blood?
I visit him like once a month. I think probably the first time I visit him the first 2 weeks just to make sure he's not dangerous,
Okay.
I guess.
What do you want him to do? And did you find anything else out about him? Because he will literally tell you anything now.
I didn't think that far ahead.
That's fine. And if that's where you want to like start it and just be like, I didn't think that far ahead.
I think that's where we're going to go with
it.
that.
You're just like, I didn't think that far ahead, but that's locked down now.
Like, I knew if he stayed in the basement that eventually I'd owe Monica more things.
Yeah.
So I had to get him out of there. Beyond that, I didn't really think much over that.
I feel like I didn't think that far ahead could be a byline for vampire just in general.
Yeah.
Or you could print it on pencils so that as you ground them down, it just took
I didn't
those
think.
words.
I didn't
I didn't think. I didn't.
Yeah.
You want me?
Look, I had a very clear goal. I accomplished that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put this to the table. We're going to do a little fun thing because T-Buck is a beloved SPC. What is one trait from Jessica that he adopts?
Like anything? Even like...
Yeah.
But like, oh, does it have to be like the... What is it? The Toreador thing where you can only look at pretty things when you're...
Oh, that's the Bane.
That's the Bane. He's a thin
Like
blood, so he won't absorb.
he won't
that.
absorb
A personality trait?
It could be up to and including his
don't
hair changes
I
color.
want Bratty T-Buck.
Bratty T-Buck.
Bratty
No!
T-Buck.
Yeah. I was trying to think of a way. I was trying to think of the word, but Corey said it
Yeah.
out loud. So yeah, I want Bratty T-Bug. I want Mean Girls T-Bug.
Mean Girls T-Buck. Got it. All right.
goodness.
I really thought somebody was going to be like, he bedazzles everything. But no, Mean Girls
He
T-Buck.
likes the moon.
Okay, if he's
He likes to
bratty,
be clean.
if he's bratty, she's definitely visited him probably a couple more times, and they just gossip.
Yeah.
But like,
No, not necessarily actually important information. They literally
yeah.
gossip.
Yeah.
Okay, he's just like,
What?
oh, let me tell you what my neighbor just did yesterday. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Oh, I just went out with curlers in her hair. Can you believe? Oh, bless her heart.
Because
Yep.
nobody else in the group's willing to talk like that with her. So I'm like, you know what?
He is now.
That is,
Loves
I
it.
think, is
Looks
great.
forward to it. It's marked on his calendar.
I would argue that if you attempted to do that with Oliver, he would try.
It's probably true.
You know?
But you probably use like a hockey analogy.
He's using sports analogies. He's talking about poker night.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no good
you bring up
gossip at
politics,
poker
and
night.
she's just like,
If I may remind you, you have dots in politics,
Yeah, I do.
so you can gossip about politics.
Yeah, you want to talk about politics?
Yeah.
Oliver doesn't. Oliver may have 3 dots in politics. Oliver doesn't understand politics.
Yep.
I want to stress that very heavily.
So the representation of the dots in politics is the capacity to understand it, like the capacity to do it. And you've known enough about politics and have enough like weird like opinions about it that you could probably like navigate or like create a student council or something. Like, you know how it works. You just never think about using it.
I would say that 3 dots in politics is like, yeah, he understands it, but the only information that Oliver gets is from like mass media, like news stations, and TV, like CBS.
Yeah.
And,
It's
you
like
know,
somebody with 3 dots in drive that has only ever driven like a Ford Focus.
Yeah.
They've only ever driven
Only
a
ever
Ford
gone the
Focus.
speed limit. Or
Yeah,
anything
only
like
ever
that.
gone the
It's
speed
just,
limit.
You know, like,
Put them behind the wheel of a sports car. They
Yeah.
could probably really like they just have a knack for
they would
it.
drive it like a Toyota Tercel still.
Yeah, they
though,
would
like-
probably drive it to like a Toyota Tercel until they were pushed into a situation where
yeah.
they had to do that. Yeah. Yep. 100%. They'd still drive it like they'd drive a Lambo.
Yeah, you don't want to talk to Oliver about politics. 'Cause
Yeah,
No.
It's very clear that Oliver does not understand politics when you
Yeah,
talk
Oliver's
to him.
always that uncle at the family.
Jessie
reunion.
doesn't pay attention to politics, so she just doesn't want to deal
For better or
with it.
for worse.
It's kind of a
And that's fine because I don't
Yeah.
want to have to research Canadian politics.
Neither do I. It's
2018.
okay.
Great.
I think it's funnier because I picked that trait specifically because I do not
No,
follow
no,
Canadian politics.
Yep.
So I think if I start yelling about it, it's just like,
Yeah, there's no weight to it at all because
2018, I guess NDP. We're talking about the NDP
yeah,
now.
good, I would
Yep.
assume, yeah.
all right.
yeah, I guess in terms of some of the other stuff, Jessica probably wouldn't have told Jordan that she's hanging out with anarchs or Monica just because she doesn't think they'd approve.
Okay.
And honestly, she does like Jordan a lot more now.
Okay. Is her relationship with Monica a secret then?
No. They may have found out through other means. She just didn't tell them.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to argue that Oliver would know you're smooching Monica.
Oh, okay. How?
He's been around teenagers his whole life.
He's a teenager.
He's a teenager, but he's been around it. He knows, dude. He knows when you're hiding something.
I come back and you're just like,
Yeah.
That would probably, you picked up on it at Elysium. You were just like sitting in the corner going like,
oh, you came the same night that she
Yeah,
catered.
he's actually been there every night. He just
Yeah.
hasn't
Been
done
there all the time,
anything.
but nobody
yeah.
talks to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk to anyone.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
Or he tries to,
suspicious.
but it's like,
It is suspicious that Monica is the only person Jessica doesn't neg constantly.
Yes. Yeah. That's a dead giveaway to all.
That's a good way to. Yeah, that's a good way
Wait
to
a
put it.
second. She's actually doing the thing that Monica cares about.
Yeah. Yeah. Oliver knows. He hasn't said anything, but
Oh, okay. All right. Sure.
Anything else?
Oh, well,
I love that I blood bonded somebody.
Take two
There was a timeline.
more recently, within the last month, she's started trying out VTubing.
Yay!
What is your character been up to? Oh, I
Everything.
blood somebody decided to become a VTuber.
my
Hanging out with
God.
everyone.
I've been
Her
busy.
avatar must be amazing.
I haven't really thought about much of like
Does
how
she use,
that
like, one
works.
of the-
She's just
the
trying it out.
run-of-the-mill, like goth mommy avatars that everyone would use, or because she's a vampire, she would use something different.
She's gonna use something different.
Yeah.
Because she'll see that as like too close
playing
to
to
truth.
type. Yeah, but you don't want to play to
No,
type.
it's complete opposite. It's like buff beach boy.
Like a mermaid.
a mermaid.
A mermaid.
Yeah.
She's like
one
a
called
mermaid.
Like
Cowgirl
legit a
and
mermaid?
Yeah, she'll be like a mermaid.
Yeah, she thought she was getting a cowgirl.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
definitely got a cowgirl.
Yeah.
And also she's joined a parkour group.
Parkour.
Yeah.
Parkour.
At night she scrabbles up buildings and things.
That's fun.
I figured there's probably a couple anarchs in there.
Do you have like parkour like competitions, like meets?
This is a this is like a one of those like sort of punk sort of like we climb buildings at night and like
okay.
get around the
It's not like
it's
4-H.
yeah, it's not like 4-H. It's one of those
not
like
structured.
yeah, it's like one of those like we're taking back our city and using it to like it's one of those groups.
Take
Yeah,
like the
that's-
city
that's
one jump
why-
at a time.
That's why I figured there's probably a couple anarchs in there.
Yeah, no, you tell me.
I think there is.
Okay, great. It's the last remaining brother. So you met three brothers.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you met three brothers. Two of them are dead. You met three brothers in Series 1 at the party at the thing.
The motorbikes.
Yeah, the motorbikes. Two of them are dead.
Power Rangers.
So, yeah, it was only the green one out of the brothers that survived.
What was his name? Did he have one?
Yes, he did. Give me just a second.
Well, yeah, I know. Definitely Tommy.
Tommy.
He's got that flute.
It's got a little flute. Do, 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 do.
They bring back
I-
Tommy so much in the
Yeah.
English one. Yeah.
Yeah. Kenji Higashiyama. You got to know him a little bit as a former exchange student that got wrapped up in some bad stuff and had to tell his parents that he was dead because he couldn't go home.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of parents, since we would have done over holidays,
Yep.
Jessica would have gone home for Christmas in the sense of like she would have shown up for Christmas
Okay.
evening.
Okay. So like in town.
Yeah.
Yeah, parents are in town.
Parents
Okay.
are in town. She's always been on Victoria Island,
Yep.
Vancouver Island, Victoria. You know.
Yep.
They were mildly upset that she couldn't show up during the day.
Sure. Yep. Okay. But she showed up in the evening.
In the evening,
Yeah.
put in a couple of hours.
And then left?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
No, she didn't stay there.
I was about to say, how do you manage
Again, they're
that?
in town. So.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yep. Yeah. They tried to pressure her to like spend the night. Like your
Oh,
room,
definitely.
Your room is the same.
Your room's the same. You didn't
Yeah.
come during the day. You should stay the night.
Yep.
Then we can stay up late and Dad can make eggnog or whatever.
Remind me, does Jessica have any siblings?
No.
Ah, yes. Okay.
The only other thing I have down is I kind of. So this is.
Yeah.
I told you she's been busy. In series 1, we. Marge attacked that person with the knife.
I thought you said Mars attacks. Attack.
There's 2?
Yeah, we didn't get March in Series 1.
Mars
That was in
attacks.
series 2?
It
That
was
was
the
series
beginning
2.
of series 2. Yeah.
Right, sorry.
Yeah.
They attacked that person in the middle of the night and with the box cutter, and we saved them. They went off to the hospital, and later the interaction with Quinn finding out that person was around and seemed upset about it
Survived. Yeah.
bothered Jessica a bit.
Okay.
So ideally I wanted her to find out if that person was still okay.
Yes.
So that she could what?
Yeah.
Just so that she would
the
know.
next question. So that she would know.
Mm-hmm.
Because
because
she's happy about it.
well, Quinn was upset and she thinks it's fine. So I guess it's more of a I'm right that he's okay.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, yep, that we had the same okay, all right, yeah,
Tie up loose ends. you
yep.
know?
Just I was like,
Afraid
man,
I'm just gonna go on a blood bonding spree.
What?
No.
oh, I didn't.
P-Bug.
I thought
Murder. Just murder.
yeah, I thought you were gonna go from I blood bonded T-Bug. Oh, also I killed a dude. Yeah.
I guess
don't
we
think-
know the
I-
dead do speak, so that wouldn't be a way to eliminate.
I don't really think she's into killing people, even human. If she can
A lot
help
has
it.
happened. She's in parkour now.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't.
She's a mermaid
That's
VTuber.
life, yeah. Became a mermaid VTuber,
Tuber.
took up parkour, blood blinded a guy, murdered somebody, went home for the holidays.
Yeah, the usual stuff. You
Still doing the Etsy thing? Doing the Etsy thing.
Actually, less of that.
Less
Been
Etsy
busy.
thing.
I like Etsy's kind of part of the more.
No
I
Etsy.
was.
Got it.
You've
well,
definitely
it's
been the
still
most busy.
there.
Actually,
it's not like
you've
she
all
took
been
it
busy.
down.
Yeah,
guess
everybody's been real.
Well,
yeah. Well, all right.
Yeah, again, it's not like she took the Etsy store down or anything. It's just that was kind of part of. I'm at home being kind of sad. Now I'm not. Now I'm out partying with people and jumping up buildings.
One last thing though, your roommate Kathy moved out.
Yeah, she would have.
Yep.
What happened to Charles? I think
Charles
he's
is still around.
Still weirdly, mysteriously, I
Yep.
never see him.
Never see him. Still around. Pays rent on time. Charles, extant. Yep. Excellent. Okay.
One fun thing I wanted to do as a group is kind of try to lean into the Vilarp thing as a cover. And maybe like
dress up.
no, go out and do airsoft with people.
I feel like
Oliver
Oliver's
would love
gonna
that.
gonna dress up because he thinks he's supposed
Yeah,
to.
Oliver. The first time that we do it, Oliver thinks that we were doing LARP because one of you would explain what LARP is to him, and you're like, okay, well, I want us all to like do a team building exercise and like go do LARP, and Oliver would
Just
show
needed
up
a
like
face mask.
no, Oliver would show up in like Oliver would wear like a full on like a Viking outfit.
Yeah.
So it's like wrong. It's like you tried, but it's not medieval.
Just
And
be
you
like,
know, it's like
this is an M4. We're going to be shooting these plastic pellets at each other.
and there's Oliver dressed like
Yeah,
an
like
Olaf.
like a perfectly accurate 6th century Viking raider. He has a persona and a name.
yeah.
He went to the Halloween store before it closed down for the season.
Yeah, he got a really good costume, like a really good one, because he was really trying hard. He's like, okay, they've invited me to a thing. It's time to do the thing.
But maybe you can meet the other LARPers and they'll love your costume.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And then he's just sad about it because they're gonna die.
And but then he just every time he looks at a human, it's true. Every time he looks at a human, you're like, you're dead. That's all he can think about right now. Not all of it, but most of it.
All right. So the Viking costume definitely happened the first time
Yeah.
that y'all went out to do airsoft. Does everybody participate in this?
With Silas?
Yeah, sure.
many
why
times
not?
have we
Silas
done
would
this?
give it a
I
shot,
put in the
Yeah.
request because our teamwork needs a little
Okay.
work.
Yeah.
Jessica would have shown up the first time because she's listening to you more. If this happened multiple times and it conflicted with anything she thought was more important, she didn't always show up.
It's the best I can do.
Yeah.
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 You'd be like, you know what? I'll take it.
I'd say it's like a 50-50.
So you joined the actual Vancouver Island Live Action Roleplay Society because you got their van.
Yeah, because one of Quinn's ghouls or whatever is involved, so we
yeah,
have
he's
sort
a-
of a cover
yeah, he's-
for my family. You see,
Uh-huh.
because I have to explain the van.
The van. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The ghoul that he got this from is the police chief.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
And that's why they go out into the woods and shoot each other with plastic
Yes,
pellets.
indeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot. They shoot each other with plastic pellets. I actually, may I pitch something to you?
Sure.
They just did Boffer LARP.
Yeah.
You were the one that suggested airsoft.
Yeah, I was like, oh, there's these like zombie scenarios you can do, and all these other things. We have to like get to the chopper.
Okay.
Everyone loves it.
Yeah.
I'm so
So-
popular.
Alternately, they do alternate like Boffer
Yeah.
airsoft. Can we say that you just showed up in the wrong outfit twice in a row because you didn't understand the cadence?
Yeah.
Is that cool? Yeah. So one time he showed up as Viking. It was the airsoft night.
Next time he showed up as like a SWAT team
Yeah,
member.
with like a
and
SWAT
then
team
it was
member,
like,
and then yep.
I was like, no, it's foam daggers tonight.
Yeah.
He showed up like actually this is the only time Oliver would all the vampire things he's ever been to, this is funny. The second when we're having the Boffers, the only time he's ever worn a really, really nice suit, he dressed like John Wick, was to the LARP thing. But all these parties, he doesn't. He just wears like a tracksuit or whatever.
Did he
like,
get to have it custom made?
Yes.
Did he
He went like all out.
Did he ask Quinn?
Yes.
Because Quinn always
Yeah,
wears
he
suits.
would ask Quinn. He'd be like, Quinn, I need a really nice suit, but he didn't tell Quinn what it was for. And Quinn's like, oh, you're going to a vamp. You're trying to fit into the vampire thing.
Yeah.
But no, it's for a
Right,
lark.
so he's excited about it because he's like, oh, he's finally
Mr.
doing
Tyndall,
it.
you're
Oh, no.
understanding.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does he
shows
find out?
up to the LARP with the earpiece.
Does he find out that you get it for LARPing later?
Yes, after the thing. He's like, how's the party? It was the suit thing was last week. I dressed up like a Viking, and this week was the boffer thing. And he's like, what?
I don't know what any of those words
So
mean.
I want to be very clear.
Yeah.
This suit cost like $3,000.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And it
Oliver's
got-
trying to make friends. Yeah.
it got hit with airsoft.
If you show up to the LARP thing with like the nicest costume, people are going to talk to you.
Okay. All right.
He even had like the cuff, like a thing, like a
Earwig.
earwig, and talking.
This-
Can you imagine how beautiful he'd be? He's got like the cat's grace, just like spinning and shooting, gun kata.
Yeah. But he like
Awesome.
refuses to use his powers for that. He'll just do his like normal.
Oh, you can't help it.
Can you?
Some of them are passive. So
Oh.
cat's grace, anything that, like for example, your cat's grace there is any
It just happens?
check involving balance. You just
Oh yeah.
do
you
it.
just
Your
do
own
it.
balance.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't automatically make you a Harlem Globetrotter or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
But you could, if it
When
can
he has
support
to
your
walk
weight,
on like
you
a
can do it.
tightrope, he could just do it.
You can just do it. Yeah. If it
Yeah.
can support his weight, he can balance on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is, as we've established, 6 months later from the end of series 2. From that time, you really like your estimation in the eyes of all of the Camarilla, because ostensibly you are part of the Camarilla. You are still all deputies as far as everybody on the island that is part of the Camarilla is concerned. Your estimation after the elimination of, for all intents and purposes, a Sabbat bishop in a way that looked murderous, but definitely not something that a like group. There was an investigation. They found nothing. It was horrible. Everything was on fire. Some of the woods burned down. You had taken care of the body. You had done an incredible job of taking care of Reverend Brother Sweetwater.
When you kill a vampire,
Yep.
obviously there's like you can't just do it whenever you want. Like there's with the Camarilla, like they're like, hey, don't do that, maybe. So like when we kill a member of like the Sabbat, even if they just investigating as if they aren't a member of the Sabbat until proven otherwise, like where you can say like, oh, they were Sabbat, and then is the Camarilla like, oh, like
Sometimes.
sometimes,
Yeah.
okay.
There are definitely folks that do, like, they're like, oh, yeah, this one person that was trying to get into town, they were definitely a member of Sabbat, and we took care of them. And so a lot of it is just reputation and who knows who. But
Okay.
if they're not announced at court, if they aren't a known quantity in the city, stuff happens sometimes. But Reverend Brother Sweetwater was definitely a known member of the Sabbat. You did that. Your estimation went up an incredible amount, not just here, but also in Vancouver. Jessica, your sire wrote you. I heard what happened. Grand congratulations in the huge flowing font at the dead drops that you have with Tripathy. I mean, for that first month, even though Oliver was like, this was the come down, really, because there was a lot of attention kind of showered on you for a while. Whatever it is that you needed, like Knives was ecstatic, effusive towards you, Joe. Like just absolutely amazing. And then everything that you described earlier, all of that happened within those 6 months. I've already described kind of the state of things. Things have kind of gotten in equilibrium as Knives has sort of wend his way into the government and some of the mortal society here, trying very, very hard to really lock everything in, while at the same time sending Quinn farther and farther out and giving him stricter and stricter mandates to keep him away from Elysium. There's been 6 Elysiums so far. A lot of folks have shown up. They've been good, at least as far as Knives is concerned, very successful. And he keeps talking about how he's really looking forward to when things are established and he gets to hand over power. But whenever anybody asks him when that's going to be, he says, I don't know. We have to see how things shake out on the mainland. So we open up in April, the 7th Elysium. All of you are there. You're all regulars at Elysium. I assume you're still showing up
Shows
just
up.
to kind of be...
He still shows
just
up.
to see. Yeah. Sort of just expecting yet another night before you head home.
Yeah.
This is a kind of a special one. The word has kind of gone out from Knives, from Johnny Knives to you, to the rest of you. Tripathy also lets you know, actually, because they are tied into every bit of scuttlebutt that goes on in Vancouver. And even though you're not writing them, they are writing you even more often in order to attempt to elicit a response. They're not getting more... The missives aren't getting more unhinged,
Okay.
but they're definitely getting more flowery and effusive, like moon of my night, light of my stars, when will I hear the words upon the wind that you bring me? Like all of that.
Right.
Yeah, incredibly
She's been
flowery.
reading them.
Yeah.
She's just been like, oh, okay, I should get back to that
Yeah.
later.
And then
Takes off.
It's VTuber time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is Tripathy in your chat?
I doubt that. There's no way.
I got a little mod sword next
I can't imagine that he knows how to use a computer.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I find that relentlessly funny, dude. Just your sire shows up in your Twitch chat. What up, sire?
Yeah, it's like we're doing a reaction video of the new season of House of the Dragon.
Thanks, Anonymous Gifter, for gifting my sire a sub.
Their username is my sire.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny to me.
Even if he did for some
sire.
reason, she'd never acknowledge it. That's like having your parents show up in chat and you're just kind of like, oh no.
There has been contact from Theo. Theo is overjoyed that you have locked down a location and wished to send some of the members of the Chantry to come and help sort of mystically set it up. Almost.
Right.
Because Chains has brought in a bunch of workers, the night crew to kind of set things up and like build essentially a secret basement on the down low.
Right.
Whatever the boon was between Chains and Theo was huge.
Right.
Because he brought in a mortal crew, no permits, under the cover of night, like managed to get them into town somehow, because they definitely came over from Vancouver.
Right.
You have no idea how, but they did the work impeccably.
Okay.
Yeah. And very much snubbed Oliver.
That actually makes more sense why Oliver felt so snubbed, because he brought in a bunch of outside, and Oliver's like, finally, and it's like, this is my chance, dude. This is where I can make I can show that I'm useful. You know what I mean? And then they just brought in a bunch of outside people that treated him like he didn't know what he was doing, and he's actually quite competent. You know what I mean?
Oh
like,
yeah, he's
you know?
He made that
very
really
skilled.
cool chest thing that we put all our weapons in when we went
Yeah,
to fight
he makes the chest,
Reverend
he-
Father
got a
Sweetwater.
cool tool belt, gets all dressed
Yeah.
up. Yeah, so that's funny that they would bring in a bunch of outside stuff.
But I assume that he kept all of that to himself and didn't
What do you mean?
tell anybody. Like he didn't go to Chains and be like, "Hey, what's up?"
Oh
What was
yeah,
up
no,
with this?
he
Yeah.
didn't say anything. He
Yeah.
just
How's your relationship with Knives been since that? Because usually when you and Knives get together, this is the longest you've kind of spent with Knives in a very long time.
Yeah.
Normally it's like hot and heavy and then he's got to go off and do stuff.
Yeah, so like a lot of exposure at the beginning was different, and things have kind of settled into like a slower burn. It's like maybe once a month, like after Elysium or something.
Sure.
They get together, but mostly they're just busy.
Right.
Wait, Elysium's just a vampire block party.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
it's
it's in a
inside.
house.
Yeah, it's
you
in
know,
house, but
yeah, the same idea, right?
yeah, that's generally the same idea.
How often
I mean,
does it happen? Like once a month? Once?
Yeah.
It is a block party. That's very funny.
He hosts it on the new moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the when everything is the darkest. Yeah.
It's more likely if, like, Chansey and the rock gods or rock monsters.
Chansey the rock god and the monsters.
Or the Mopes had, like, a show in town, then she would hang out with them. But
They've actually been here. They're the house band now. That's kind of like, it's an extended engagement. Yeah. So people are still lining up out the door. Yeah. There's a little tension between Chansey and Knives.
Is it about the phones, or is it about the popularity?
Popularity. Which isn't something that Knives used to care about, really.
And that sort of red flags for Joe. It's just like, oh, why are you like this? Because you used to be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Knives is still cool. He's still the rad guy. Very friendly to everybody.
Sharpest dresser I know.
Sharpest dresser, you know. Yeah. But something's
Oliver's
shifting.
looking pretty
Yeah.
good. Tracksuit on.
I mean, I guess technically Quinn's probably the sharpest dresser
Yeah.
we know, but
Before we get to Elysium, let's say Oliver wasn't going to go. There's a knock on your door.
It's night. Just the start or middle or
It's probably about a half an hour after sunset.
what? Okay. Yeah, Oliver gets up and you're like, the hell? And then he opens the door.
I mean, you see out of the front of your...
I guess he looks you can see Oliver's little head poke up over like this, like, this little
the
window
little window.
usually.
Yep.
Like,
outside you see a matte black Dodge Viper with neon green trim.
does he recognize it? Has he ever seen that before?
Yeah. Not that car, but if there's a fancy car,
It's Quinn.
probably.
Oh. Hello?
You like open
Yeah.
like in between the screen door and everything.
Yeah.
Mr. Tyndall.
Oliver. I mean, Quinn. Sorry.
May I come in?
You have to ask? Right. Yeah, you have to ask. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
No, I
Don't you have to ask? I thought that was a thing.
no, that's just etiquette.
Oh. Because I thought,
Not me.
yeah, you can come in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Where is Stalks by Night right now?
I can't tell. Whoa, no, wait, can I tell? I can tell where she is, right? Have we?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah. She's definitely, at this point, she is your familius.
Okay, she is my familius.
Yep.
She's not nearby.
Not nearby? Okay,
Yeah.
so off hunting?
Off hunting. Yeah,
Okay.
doing something. Yep.
I mean, that's kind of how you've been getting fed, is they've been doing the hunting for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sick. Yeah. So they're off doing their thing.
Yeah, they've been
I guess if nighttime's just started, then Stalks My Night knows I just woke up, so I'm probably getting hungry. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you. And he shuts the door. I've noticed a decline in your mood as of late. I've been keeping tabs and an eye on you, and I am beginning to become concerned. He sits down on your, couch, the, mustard colored
Wait,
checked
before I
one.
move, shoes
Yeah,
off.
he does. Yeah, without a... Yeah.
Sorry,
Are
yeah.
your shoes on?
No.
Okay.
Nah, no.
All right.
no,
Yeah.
no.
He takes his shoes
Yeah,
off.
shoes off.
He motions to the old couch that you have. That couch. That yeah.
Yes.
Thank
please.
you.
Yeah.
He sits. I've come to discuss your general countenance. I have something that happens occasionally in the younger kindred is a malaise, and it seems to be affecting you.
Okay, hold up. Countenance.
Your face is sad.
And malaise.
Sad.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I am here if you wish to discuss it.
I'm having a real hard time.
I see.
I feel like I spent my whole life being not respected. And now I have to start a whole new life from the bottom again. And I feel less respected. And you're part of the problem.
I'm aware.
I don't know how to say this any other way. I hate being a vampire. I hate this a lot. The only good thing going on in my life is that cat, which is
I'm sorry?
the cat, the big cat. Stalks by night. They've met. You've met.
Yes. I understand. I
would argue Oliver bonded it and doesn't know he bonded it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he has no idea what he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just
Okay.
she's always just like more.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah.
They take care of their own feeding schedule,
Yeah.
and he's just like, okay, you do it. And
Yeah.
she like bites his arm and like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he just like licks his own wounds closed and stuff.
Or one time, actually, I would say the first time it actually happened was Oliver was working on something, and
Yeah.
Stalks by Night was hanging out, and he's like, and he cut himself.
Yeah.
And she was like, and she just licked it, just
Yep.
cleaning, right?
Yep.
And then,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can do that.
yeah. The cat. My only friend is a cougar that I found in a backyard somewhere that will give me the time of day or give me advice. You know,
I see.
I tried to help Silas with the chantry stuff, and I went on to help with the whole workload, and everyone just treated me like it was my first day on the job. I got 30 fucking years, right? 30 years working with my hands on cars and wood and metal, all kinds of stuff. And these fucking vampires, they all think they're better than me. And it sucks. You know, I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of just being like I was when I was a human. And I don't know how to change it. And I'm sad and I'm alone. And I'm just I'm the leg of a table that's a little bit nicer than when I was a human, but I am still just a leg. I am there just to do whatever grunt work somebody's got laying around. You know? Go to these stupid parties where everyone's dressed nice, and I don't dress nice or nice enough anyway. You know? I just want to make a friend. Why is it so hard? Why is it any different? It's like vampires are meaner than humans.
Oh yes.
Then why? Like, what am I doing wrong? I know I don't understand everything that's going on. So here Oliver's just ranting out because someone's actually talking to him.
Yep.
It's like, I don't understand what's going on with everything, with the anti-Peruvians and the whatever the Sabbath. I don't understand any of it. You know, I don't get it. Because it's been 9 months and everyone just expects me to get things and not ask questions.
Quinn sort of like tilts his head to the side. I believe I understand that the root of this is you feel alone, isolated, underappreciated. I see. Would you want to do something about that?
I mean, I do, but I'm going to be honest. I've kind of given up.
He looks around the place.
It's a disaster, dude.
That is apparent.
What do I do? I don't want to be a vampire. I don't want this. Every time I go, I can't keep the human side because they're all dead. Even if they're alive, I'm going to outlive them 300 times over. I mean, maybe not. Maybe somebody shoots me with a garlic gun or something.
That's not a thing.
You know what I mean?
I do.
But it's just, I don't want this. Like, how do you come to terms with this? How do you go from being nothing in the human life with really no prospects and you weren't advancing in anything, and now I have to do that forever? I don't have an ending. There's not. One day I was gonna grow old and die, and now I'm gonna be like this forever. And I can't. I'm trying. I am trying. I know it may seem like I didn't try, but I promised you I was trying. And it's just never. It was never good enough for you. It was never good enough for a lot of people. And I don't want to be like this forever, but I don't know how to change it. And I've got no one to talk to. Because every time I ask questions, everyone tells me they're stupid.
What is it that you need, Mr. Tyndall?
I just want to feel needed.
Everything stops. All of the small motions that you normally see around you in the day-to-day, just little air currents, or as the moonlight, which is rich and full, streams in through the window, you see the little motes dancing within the beams stop. And then you hear, I can be your friend, Oliver. I'll be your friend forever. I'll answer every question you have, and you will always have purpose. You can still move. You can respond. You reach out and like touch Quinn.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just absolutely solid, like a statue.
Like,
yep.
Can't move.
Mm-hmm.
You just like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nothing?
Makes that nothing. You just hear the voice coming from everywhere. What do you do? Slap him?
Yeah.
It hurts your hand more than it, like, he just doesn't move. Yeah.
All right. What the fuck? Who? Hello?
Yes, little lamb.
Who is this?
You know who this is.
How'd you get my number?
I've always had your number, Oliver. You look out the front window, and you know when you look out a window, you see a reflection?
Yeah.
You don't see your reflection.
Oh.
You see standing in the front yard of your house a small, ratty young woman with long hair that kind of almost goes down to the ankles.
I have not watched the tape. I'm not dying in 7 days. I'm a vampire. I live forever.
She's definitely taller than that.
Yeah.
But you see within kind of like the mess of hair and a very frilly, like doll's almost outfit.
What
on
the
her. And you see out there in the yard. Now, when I say in the yard, I mean it has that vision of a reflection. Like they're standing in your house that far away is kind of what it looks like.
Yeah.
With yellow eyes that shine through, looking right at you.
Okay.
I can be your friend.
Depends. You like Leafs?
I can like anything you like, Oliver.
Well, I mean, that's the best offer I've had in months. Jeez.
I have to go.
Did you? No. You have to go right.
Over. Think it over. And then you wake up and the night is full and young.
Is Quinn still there?
No, but there's a knock at the door.
The fuck am I fucking? Oh, I am. There's a knock at the door?
Yeah.
Fucking. You hear Oliver gets up. He's like, Ned Myers. He starts quoting Groundhog Day. He's like, and he looks up. Again.
Out front, you see a Dodge Viper, matte black with neon green trim.
Again?
What do you mean again? You hear a deep voice from outside. It's Quinn.
What are you doing back here? Why'd you leave?
I haven't been here in months, Mr. Tyndall. Were it up to me, I would never come here, but I have been asked to escort you to Elysium by our erstwhile Archon.
Why?
Because they have an announcement. And we have guests. And you are a member of the Camarilla Court here.
Oh, this is like a business thing.
More political than business, I think.
Let me get dressed. Do you want to come in?
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he comes in and
Shoes.
he already had started taking his shoes off. He takes his shoes off and, like, starts
Wait.
looking around. He's got driving gloves on. He's about to take them off and then doesn't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Quinn goes to sit down. He's like, you can sit, and he's like, picks a big pile of pizza boxes, and he's like, yeah, you could just sit right there. And he like trundles off.
He sits and looks around. Good to see my patronage is coming in handy.
Look, the conversation we had before was way nicer.
What conversation, Mr. Tyndall? He takes his sunglasses off and folds them up and slips them into his pocket.
You were here.
I assure you I was not. I just came from my haven because I got a messenger very late last night before the day to make sure that you attended Elysium.
Oh. Okay. That was weird. You were just asking me how I was doing. Okay. I'll remember that for next time. Okay, and then Oliver just gets up and goes
Gets dressed,
and then gets ready.
Yep.
And you're like, all right, can the cat come?
No.
Yeah. And he like closes his eyes. Because I'm assuming we can communicate with each other
Not
in a sense.
you have
Not
to
really?
talk, yeah.
Well, he can use like the, what is it?
Feral Whispers?
Yes.
Yeah, Feral Whispers, but that's not telepathy.
That's not
That's
telepathy?
legitimately talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
Wanna
not
leave
like
him a
I
note?
can't. Can I like? Yeah.
You
it's
can
like,
call them to you at almost any
anytime?
distance. Yeah.
but I can't like tell them I'm leaving. Like I leave a note for them or something. Like you know what I mean?
No, they're
Like,
used to you. Well,
just
I mean, they're
coming
not. They're
going.
used to you being gone every now and again.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I just think it'd be funny if you wrote out a note and you're like, there, now he knows.
that's actually
Yeah,
good.
now she
That's something
knows, yeah.
Oliver would do. He like, hold on, and he like looks around and he like
Like an
moves
old
a pizza
napkin.
box and yeah, it's like an old like Domino's napkin or something. He's like, and he writes on it, and he like goes off to the back door and like slaps
Right on the back door. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. All right, we can go now.
Okay. Please, he opens the door for you, and you head off to Elysium.
Yeah.
Now, you all arrive for Elysium. The scene is, at this point, a familiar one. The Prince and the Pauper has gone from, like, a dingy sort of warehouse to a dingier sort of warehouse. It has definitely kind of gotten, like, a little bit more of a, like, decoration, but it's definitely way more grunge. All the equipment and everything is choice, super updated, new sound system, but it's all hidden away underneath all of the sort of original rust and things. So, because this is Elysium, it has sort of, you know, everybody has been invited. You have been assured to be there. The sheriff was sent to make sure you were there. You two have information that actually all three of you do, because your sire would have told you as well. Theo would have let you know you have there's a guest coming. So you all sort of know more than anybody else here. There are more anarchs here than you would have thought, because this is really the first time that like somebody important has showed up, and apparently they got the memo too. There was no announcement. This was just a thing that was going to happen. But everybody was just kind of like, you need to be there. You've got to figure it out kind of thing. Like it's not, an invitation wasn't sent out that this was going to happen, but just as a show of power, if you don't show up, that's going to be
People will notice.
politically bad and people will notice. Yeah, it will decrease your standing.
Grandma's coming out. So put on your little suit and stand up straight.
That's the vibe, yeah. So what's everybody wearing?
I should have brought my good plate.
You do have the glass still too. That like Toreador.
He wouldn't have thought of
glass.
bringing it. He wouldn't have thought
Yeah.
of like it was that kind of party.
Yeah.
You know? But,
So just to kind of remind what this place looks like, it's double tiered. The top area sort of has the railings that kind of go around it. There are 2 sub bars at the top. And then the booth that you were at in Series 2, the one that you just kind of like went in and took, is just the actual VIP, just your area now. That's just where you get to go unless somebody more important is here. This is the first time that the ghouls, all of those suits that just look like you shoved a refrigerator into, said, not today. Sorry. And kept you out. So now you're just kind of like in the mass. But how do you all arrive? This is important. And what are you wearing? Also important.
I probably would have called Jessica, actually, and asked what she's wearing. What's your read on the vibe? Because I think Silas would normally like dress down for the venue.
Yeah, it's the hard
Right.
part because it's like it's Knives runs the Elysium, so I assume that generally we've kind of gone more with a grungier look.
Yeah.
But there's an important guest coming, so you want to dress a little fancier.
Clothes for a private function. is
Okay,
the
Right.
evening,
yeah.
yes.
Oh, we dress in formal.
We're dressed, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
but
like,
dressing
if-
formal.
If you're confused, then I'll talk to Joe. As well. Just because she probably has the inside track, but also she's busy. I don't want to bother her.
Lord.
But
No, I
yeah.
Wear a
think
nice
it would be
suit.
like there's a very special guest coming,
Okay.
so think about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, you said Oliver was dressing up.
well, he dressed. Pair of blue jeans.
He wasn't dressed before.
Yeah, I
was
was
just in
not
his
dressed.
underwear.
He was in his undies.
Yeah.
Little
Yep.
teddy whities. Yeah.
It's up to you. Quinn
Yeah.
would have encouraged you to wear the suit.
Oh, okay. So like the way it would have worked out is
Yeah.
Oliver would have come out wearing jeans, t-shirt,
Uh-huh.
and been like, "All right, let's go." And he's like, "Brother," and all like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, okay." And then he goes back in and gets like
The tracksuit.
a tracksuit.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it would have happened like a couple of iterations of like, just wear the suit. No, not that suit.
it was just suit. And,
Yeah.
Oh, actually, okay, yeah. He said you should probably wear a suit, and Oliver goes, "Oh," and he goes and puts on the tracksuit, and then by that time we're gonna be so late. He's like, "Whatever," like
Okay, so
Yeah.
he's just in the tracksuit?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. He said, "Wear the suit."
Yeah, Quinn's just fine. It's like at this point, he's just, all right. And so
Digital watch.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
like not a.
Yeah, you've got, I think in Series 2, you said it was like a little Casio, like digital watch. Yeah. So in what order do you want to arrive and what are you wearing? This is definitely one of, like, this is a different vibe. This is you are announced. Like, Quinn's ghoul is there. Like, the police chief is there. Announcing people.
Huh. If Silas was given a time, he will be on time.
You're not given a time. This
No,
is
just like,
this
you
is
should
a
be at
this is a
least in-
political trap for people.
Right. I'm going to roll etiquette.
Okay.
I have etiquette in Camarilla. So this would be what? Charisma?
Let's because you're trying to figure out what time to arrive. Intelligence etiquette. What's your dice pool?
Intelligence etiquette, 4 + 2, 6.
6. You can auto success this
Okay.
if you'd like. Yeah.
I would like that.
So just to remind you, every roll is a risk because you're rolling hunger dice. So you can say, I want to take half, and then I'll tell you if you're getting close to the actual difficulty or not. But if your dice pool is twice the difficulty, you can just auto success it.
I would like that.
Yeah, you can auto success that. Yeah. What information do you want?
When to arrive, how to dress, how to present myself.
With as much Tremere shit as possible.
Okay.
Like, you need to rep your clan.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta show up like a G Fuel sponsorship, like
Yeah.
we all decked out. Yeah.
Man, you gotta wear all the sponsored shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've got my little like tie pin with the circle and the square and the
Yeah.
like all the weird geometries
With your ranking and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Yes, you show up exactly on time. We'll describe that scene in just a second, but how do the rest of you show up and what are you wearing?
Probably take a taxi. And for clothing, probably want to evoke like classic Greek or something like that. So it's like a drapey black dress that's also like clingy.
Yeah. Very good. Awesome.
Yeah, taxi, 5 minutes late. Want people to see you. And she's going to wear like a one-piece pink dress. It's like sleeveless. And she's done up her hair and there's like roses in her hair.
Nice.
Were the Tories all given like a time, but it was 90 minutes before they were actually supposed to be there?
Dude, when people say the Tories, Oliver,
the Tories?
This is why she has a
Red
hard
Sox-
time
no.
talking to him.
no, not. Oliver's like, I hear you, brother, and let me tell you, I was watching the news last night. Yeah.
God.
The Tories are a political party.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Canada.
yeah,
If you're
yeah.
watching and you don't understand that,
The conservatives.
All of you arrive one by one, and the place has actually been done up like drapery has been put around the place to sort of mask a lot of the grungy parts to it. The stage is closed, like the curtains are drawn. This place is like, it's a little bit like putting makeup on a pig, because it's just a trash place, but this is Elysium and this is what you have to work with, or
Right.
at least what they had to work with. Knives is just kind of like standing in the middle of like the open room, just sort of like nodding at everybody when they come in, like very like he owns the place. Like he's the one that runs the place because he has been for quite some time. Chansey is going around just like chatting people up. The monsters are like serving, and again, it's take 2 of the fancy blood night that Monica arranged.
Okay.
Monica is there, wearing a variation of a tight black dress, standing there just kind of like also nodding at people as they come in, not in the same way, but like sort of taking note of everybody who arrives. There are quite a few Anarchs here. Every member of the Camarilla that you have met is here. There's a tension. Does anybody want to take a moment to try to talk to anyone before things kind of roll, or do you want the scene to progress?
Oliver would attempt, because are we all together? Then
You've all arrived separately, but you definitely
see each other.
Yeah,
like, beforehand.
there's not a lot of.
Oliver would definitely try to
people.
bring up with Silas about seeing the little girl again.
Yeah.
But I guess it just comes out as like Trudeau talk, right? Is that still a thing? But like Oliver would go to Silas, like, Silas, the little girl showed up again.
Right. Yeah, because Silas figured something out about that, right? Like
A while ago, yeah.
But we don't
Yeah.
know what.
You don't know what.
Yeah.
It's just when you try to talk about this, it comes out as like Trudeau. It can come out as whatever you want,
Yeah,
but
it
it's
just comes
not
out as
the
not
thing.
what I'm saying. Yeah.
But that was when this entity was speaking through Marge. Now they're speaking to you directly, and you just can't talk about it.
Oh, I would go to do it and just like.
You just keep opening your mouth at him.
Yep.
So like, actually, I like this a lot. He comes up to Silas like, Silas.
Remember how I described mirrors behind the bar?
Yeah.
In series 2, like all of the like alcohol and things like that. You see her between 2 of the bottles, just holding her finger up.
I have a very strong intuition that the answer will be absolutely not. But I have Auspex sense the unseen. Do I get anything from that? It's just kind of like a passive.
If you want to risk a roll at a high difficulty, you may.
Are we not supposed to not use our vampire
Yeah, we're not
powers
supposed
at
to use-
Elysium?
You
we're
can't tell if somebody's using Auspex,
Okay,
which is
that's fair.
why the
Yeah.
Toreador were like, no disciplines in Elysium.
Auspex is just like your senses are sharper.
Yep, that's exactly it. Yeah, if you can get away with it, if nobody catches you. Yeah, and there are just some you just can't sense. Like you could use Sense the Beast in here. Nobody could tell. Only you. But if you were just like, haha, claws, then, somebody will get you.
High difficulty. I've got 1 dot. Let's not.
All right, 1 dot in Auspex?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it would be it would be like Wits Auspex at
Yeah, so it's
difficulty
just
like
Oliver comes up.
5.
Oh. And then he just leaves.
And he just leaves? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that would definitely be weird. That would definitely like.
I mean, he's been distant recently, but not weird.
Yeah, no, that's unusual.
Either of you two? Nope.
Jessica might smile at Monica directly, but then kind of go off because it's a political event. She doesn't want to
Okay.
cause a scene.
Have they ever made their relationship public within Elysium?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. All right. Yeah. You kind of have your own little like language. Like she sees you and sort of just like nods a little bit, but like it's wicked subtle. Music begins to play as out of the back an entire like 4-string quartet walk out of either door, like playing just this beautifully haunting music. The lights dim. Knives raises his hand and points to the stage. And he says, "Now announcing the Regent of Vancouver, Mask." And the curtains open, and you see a figure in the shadows with just essentially a cloak just standing there, hunched a little bit, 2 very long-fingered hands sort of perched before it, almost in prayer. And a white, you know those plague bearer masks with the long beak? Mm-hmm. A perfectly white porcelain one in front of him. And he nods. "It is a pleasure to be announced here. Thank you very much for hosting Archon of the Camarilla. I am Mask, Prince of Vancouver. Regent of Vancouver. It is a pleasure to meet you all. Now, who are the ones that you told me about? I wish for them to join me up on stage. That ended the threat of the Sabbat here on the island. I wish to give them thanks for keeping it off of my shores and out of my domain. I am grateful, and they shall know the extent of my largesse. Approach!" You see Knives like turns around, goes over to you and just goes, "Oh, Jesus." Like he's just, oh God, oh. The theatrical Nosferatu, I can't.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, Jordan's gonna, approach and just confident.
Yeah, like striding forward. You have to cross like an empty area because like people are just, like an empty area like to get up to the side stairs and up on the stage, which is empty and awkward except for this weird dude.
Oliver does not go up. He's like looking around to see who's moving, and then he sees all 3 of you like heading towards, and he's
Jessica's gonna grab him because she doesn't want to be embarrassed by him not going up with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just come on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's us.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he unfurls fingers that have 1 extra digit on each and just kind of like beckons and yeah. Yeah, well, like 1 extra knuckle.
Yeah, Silas will walk up, trying to convey confidence and assuredness, right? Yes, I am supposed to be here. And he's going to channel all the nervousness and trepidation he feels at whatever is going on here into just clicking his shoes with every step.
Yeah, you can hear it echo across. All of you get up on the stage, 2 on each side. He takes a step back so he can take all of you in because you're sort of facing. He goes, "Please, face me. Kneel to receive your gifts."
Oliver kneels.
Okay. Like a knight? Or does he just get on both
on
knees?
both knees,
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yep.
Yep, same both knees.
Yeah. Tell me your names. Tell me your names and let Mask know it forever.
Oliver.
Yes, Oliver. What a beautiful name. Succulent on the tongue. And the rest of you?
Jessica Chadwick.
Jessica Chadwick. Oh, and he like runs his hands like over the beak.
Jordan Hinkleman.
Jordynne Hinkleman. Yeah.
Are you just gonna start yelling your last name because you're like, oh no, everyone else did it.
Tyndall. Yeah, Sir Oliver Tyndall.
Tyndall, yes. Beautiful. You get just the sense that the what's that?
Like Silas has the invasive thought.
Oh, Pikachu!
But yeah, Silas Reed.
Silas Reed, yes. You, I know. The child of Theodamus, regent of the Vancouver Chantry, yes. My primogen, yes?
Yes.
Yes. And you. He it's just so, this finger just kind of comes down from on high to point at you. And you, child of my Toreador primogen, yes?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, it is such a pleasure to meet all of you. My thanks. And your reward. Because the Camarilla have aided us so, and we are grateful. May our domain and your domain ever share hands until our true prince return to us. For each of you a boon. From me to you, should you ever decide to visit my fair city. And I believe you shall. Very soon, because the Camarilla will always be welcome. Is Oliver making the face you're making right now? Okay,
Yeah.
yes. You just kind of see the mask tilt down. And then you just hear yes. As he drinks in your expression. Yeah. And he just slides his fingers over his mask again and rests them on his shoulders. Enjoy the festivities. They have been paid for out of my own pocket. And then just a bunch of scantily clad people, 10 of them, 5 on each side, come from the back in order to be walked around and fed upon. Discuss, please, politic. Play your games. I must away. And then he just disappears. And then there's just this awkward silence for a very long time. And then Knives just goes, yeah, music, please. No, not you. He points at the quartet, then points at a DJ that was hidden in the back. Go to Joe. Holy fuck.
Now that
Is that important?
And then
was an exit.
you only see this. You see Knives look at Chansey and point at his eyes. Chansey looks around real quick, gives a thumbs up to check to see if he's actually gone.
Right,
And he
yeah.
was just
Jordan slumps more.
Jessica,
Yeah.
why were his fingers so long? Is that it?
Ask Jordan.
And he leans to the right. Yeah, slowly. Jordan,
Yes, Oliver.
why were his fingers so long?
Some people have long fingers.
Oh. That's is that you know how, okay.
He tried to turn into a spider and failed.
Really?
No.
Because I was is that you know how a tree has a lot of rings? When vampires
Knives-
get old, do they get long fingers?
Knives is standing up on the stage with all of you, and you're having this conversation on your knees, whispering to each other, right?
He leans backwards?
No,
Yeah.
I'm standing up.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
He leans backwards. He's like, Knives.
Yeah.
He's still on his knees.
Yeah.
Why were his fingers so long?
He goes, I'll answer he reaches down, he's would you just get up?
yeah,
This
sorry.
is just weird.
Yeah.
man. Yeah, let's get a drink. Are you still vegan?
Yeah.
All right. He points at one of the ghouls and they go off into the back. He's can we get off the stage? This is just weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes,
absolutely.
a round of applause for our heroes. And then everybody, it's weird and awkward. There should mask, just the timing of everything
Yeah.
is just weird. So everybody's eh,
I awkwardly clap for
yeah,
myself
yeah.
too.
Yeah. Hey. People are looking at each other. yeah, music starts up. You get off the stage, and Knives turns to you. He's like, "That's a Nosferatu, one of the clans, and their curse is being ugly."
Oh.
Well, all right. There are other people that say it a little more kinder, like they can't walk among people anymore. Their monstrousness is on the outside. That dude's just jacked.
I'm sure he's beautiful to someone.
That's why he wears a mask.
Yeah, maybe. I don't want to meet him.
We all wear masks.
Not
Ulmer just walks away. Like, he's just
like, what the? Somebody walks up to you with a rabbit. Is there anybody you'd like to talk to, or anything that you would like to do for the evening, or would you like the scene to progress?
Silas just like loosens his tie and unbuttons his collar, and then it's like, no, and then buttons it back up because it's just like, now I'm thinking about my throat. Got to cover that up.
It's the weak spot.
This will help.
Try a ruffled collar next time.
Yeah.
I think it's just like Jessica's like, well, that's over. We're here. Grab a drink.
Like a person,
Yeah.
or like a blood bag, like in a glass?
There's
Both are on offer.
she's wearing a fancy dress. She's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
grab a glass.
Ulmer have just a bag like a Capri Sun, like a straw. He's like,
Would you like to risk a roll to make that happen?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right. Dex larceny.
I don't have any larceny, brother. I got 3 decks.
3 decks. Do you have any celerity? You do, right? You just have Cat's Grace, though,
I just
right?
have Cat's Grace.
Cat's Grace? Oh, then yeah. You can just roll that to try to like reach behind the bar to grab one.
Yeah.
Okay, and you have one hunger. Ooh, yeah.
Actually, Oliver wouldn't check to see if other people are doing it. He would just do it. Yeah.
Okay.
So I just rolled the 3 dice.
Yeah, plus 1 hunger dice.
Okay. 3 failures.
3 failures?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess he would just ask if he could have the blood bag. You know what I mean? Like, this is him. He wouldn't just take it, because Oliver would never do that.
Yeah.
Be like,
Okay.
can I just have the bag?
The guy behind the bar, like very well dressed. Oh,
Yeah.
actually, it's Giuseppe, ghoul from Monica's house. Yeah. Why?
Because I don't want the little glass. I want
Well,
the
like
bag.
a juice box.
Yeah,
wanna-
I want...
Would you like a mug? You want to walk around with a medical bag with a straw in it? I'm
now that-
confirming. I will give you.
You say it out loud. I was like, now you say it out loud. It does sound kind of stupid. Maybe
No,
a mug.
I didn't.
Mug. No, a mug is good.
Mug is good.
Mug is good. I don't think I lend well to this.
You had a rabbit.
Yeah.
Oh, where's that rabbit?
Because
it down.
because
He just,
Oliver
like, puts it
is
down.
this Oliver finally trying to drink human blood?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, maybe.
Like, this
Well,
is
he's
his, like,
had it
first
once.
time?
He's had it once before, and he's like, well,
He actually, if I may, he has not. He has only had vampire blood
he's only had
before
vampire
because he
blood.
went into hunger frenzy.
It's been
after
so
you
long.
pancake T-Buck.
and it's been like we're at the tail end of the 6 months of Oliver being miserable. And he's like, I gotta try fitting in somewhere. And he's like, sure. I mean, like, yeah, sure, because like he doesn't know what it's gonna do to him or anything. So it's like a kid's first party where they're like, here's some alcohol, and nobody and they don't know that he hasn't done it before. So it's like
It's fairly well known. At least Giuseppe knows that you're vegan.
yeah.
He absolutely does because you raided their fridge and were like,
"Oh,
"Can I have bunnies and stuff?"
I'll try some.
If Oliver's doing this, can like Joe join him and be like making requests? Like, oh, if this is your first, like, can we get something nice and relaxing?
Giuseppe's like, "Absolutely."
Yeah.
Is it like
100%.
weed?
I
Only if you want.
have that available, and he looks over at.
I don't want weed. No. I'm asking.
No.
Is it like weed?
Oh.
Because I smoked weed once. I couldn't do it with a straight face.
That's fine.
I did some reefer.
Yeah. I smoked the devil's lettuce one
I
time.
smoked weed once.
I was into jazz cabbage and
and I listened to Jefferson Starship.
Giuseppe, again, just a very just beautiful beautiful Italian man. Hair slicked back. Actually, your haircut pretty much like slicked back. Nice suit. It can be spiked.
No,
You could. Okay,
I just want to try it.
absolutely.
I want to fit in.
Okay, we can do that. So we'll just go with nothing spiked. You don't want to catch a buzz, for
Yeah.
example, correct? Yes. Glass or tab? So he holds up a glass. Do you want it in a glass, or he somebody's walking by and he grabs a mortal and just kind of or tap?
Glass.
All right. Be gone,
Glass.
and just kind of pushes their face away, and they're like, "Nah,"
Yeah.
and they walk away.
Just the glass, please.
Absolutely. He takes a glass out, takes a medical bag, pops it in a microwave, and then
It's better warm.
yeah, and then squeezes it out and slides it over to you.
Thank you.
One for Joe, and then we cheers.
Yeah.
He's just
Type O Mediterranean.
he just
It is incredible. It truly is. Imagine that you have been drinking skim milk your entire life. Mm-hmm. This is full cream, baby.
so thick. Thanks, Joe. And he just wanders off.
It just wanders off?
Yeah.
Okay. Your hunger's at 1? Your hunger's at 1.
yeah.
Okay. We're not going to need to make it a frenzy check. Just be like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just taking little tiny sips because he doesn't want
Yeah.
to overdo it.
it's not
Finds this corner and just,
incredibly difficult to not down it, but
Yeah.
you definitely have the urge to just be like, ha, ha, ha,
Yeah.
to just dump all of it down.
but he doesn't want to embarrass anybody. Mm-hmm. He's trying real hard.
Yep. The evening, people just kind of talk, a lot of them, about how weird that guy was. The Camarilla folks that are here are like, yes, what a powerful countenance. Yes. I'm so glad we're assisting them, blah, blah, blah. Some of the anarchs are just like, that guy was fucked.
Yeah, he used the A word.
Sorry, which word?
Archon?
Archon.
Oh, Archon, yeah.
Yeah, he's self-described as the Archon of Vancouver. And then
No,
Regent.
Regent. He said thank you to the Archon, which is...
thank you. Oh, I
yeah.
thought he said
He
"And
did.
I am the Archon."
He said Prince.
He did.
He said
he
Prince
did
originally, yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
He said
Oh,
Prince
excuse
and
me.
then yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse
Oopsie
me, I'm
doodle.
sorry.
Yes, Prince.
I
yeah.
misspoke. Yes. You mustn't think of me that way. Yeah, fucked up guy. He's fun. Please picture me, I practiced all of these voices and everything. Picture me alone in my apartment, just going yes, the prince, yes. To get the. Anyway,
He's
please,
been
you don't
right-
have to do that.
Yeah, it's like when you're 6 years old and you're writing your name on your binder over and over again at school.
Yeah.
Like Prince Charles was writing King Charles III on every surface that he could access since he's been 7. Right? And this is Mask is like
Prince Mask, yes. And it's Masque,
I was
by the
gonna
way, just to
ask.
be very clear.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Some of the anarchs. Chains is there. This is the very first time that Chains and Quinn have been in the same room. They are always at the opposite ends of the room to each other. Always. But even with some of the anarchs that are here and declared, even though you know that the Camarilla raided their junkyard about 4 months back and then purchased it out from under them, they're still here. Tensions are not high, but they exist.
we're 90 seconds to midnight with them.
Yeah, we're about 90 seconds to midnight with them. How are you navigating these waters, Jessica? Because you've been hanging out with both groups. Have you told them, in public, we don't?
Yeah, I know. I would have told the anarchs I can't talk to them when the Camarilla are around.
Okay.
But I probably would have been like, "Don't worry, though. I like you better." So I would probably go around and acknowledge the Camarilla that I do know. So I'd say hi to Quinn.
Okay.
And whoever else is there in that
Yep.
way.
He just, Miss Chadwick.
We don't have to have a conversation or
no,
anything.
he doesn't
it's just
want
like,
to.
It's just acknowledgement and like, I see you. Yeah,
He doesn't want to.
great.
He's not paying attention to anybody but Chains. I'm not going to make anybody roll for that. He's doing a terrible fucking job of it. Yep. He's got his sunglasses on, but like his head is like always tilted like in that direction, so his eyes can go that way. Yeah. Yep. Chains is ignoring the shit out of him. The evening passes and most people leave. Conversation. Nothing else major occurs. It's a party.
Right.
A bunch of the anarchs do come over and say hi though, calling you Napoleon.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. Like, hey, Napoleon, how you doing? Chains comes over. Hey.
Hey, James. Yeah. Trying to fit in. I don't think I like it.
Chains looks around. I tell you a secret. You don't have to fucking fit in, man.
He doesn't say anything for
Yeah.
like a long while.
Yeah. You think about that job I offered you a while back, man? Offer's still on the table. We'd
Yeah.
love to have you. Boys and girls still talk about you all the time.
Things have been hard.
I get it. I understand.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to say yeah, but I don't know.
You got my number, right?
Yeah.
You got phone?
No, Quinn took it away.
Did he now? He just takes his phone out of his pocket
Yeah.
and hands it to you in plain sight.
I have a question before I touch this phone.
Yeah.
Is this one of those weird vampire political things?
Oh, yeah. Do you want to be an anarch or no?
Oh. If I take the phone, am I an anarch?
No. It's going to give him a conniption. I'm kind of into that.
That's kind of funny.
In 3 fucking seconds, you just hear, no, no, no. And Quinn just like beelines across the entire thing. People can move out of the sheriff's way. And he just goes, he just like grabs it, slaps it back into Chains' chest, and is just like, what are you doing? Chains just pats the phone, but also puts his giant hand over Quinn's hand and goes, just trying to get you to talk to me. And then Quinn turns around and walks away. Chains starts laughing like a maniac. Give me a call sometime.
I will.
Yeah?
Thank you.
All right. See that you do. Really? Yeah.
Oliver puts the, like, he's taking a couple sips, but he just puts it on a table somewhere.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Even though he was enjoying it, is it difficult for him, or he's just
didn't
like
it.
this isn't for me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I mean, your
feels bad.
humanity is so high. It like you're like, okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just,
Something in you liked it, but Oliver doesn't have to.
he understands that part of him. Like,
Yeah.
he understands that that's like a thing, and he took a risk by drinking that, but he's like,
Does
you know, when you go to a party and you don't drink, and then
Yeah.
you like, he's essentially taking a beer bottle and put water in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and he's like, I'm good.
Does it
thanks.
bother him that part of him liked it?
He is unsure how to process that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chains just. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
He's like a kid. He's like, I don't like it.
Yeah. He slugs it back,
Yeah.
and just like puts his hand out without looking, and one of the ghouls just comes by, grabs it, and walks away with it.
Damn, that's cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not one of my parties.
Oliver puts his hand out. Like, just,
Somebody puts a glass of blood in his hand.
Don't you say a word. And Oliver just walks off.
The evening wraps up, and Quinn goes around to pretty much each one of you and indicates like hang out after.
Okay. Yeah, Silas is like half-heartedly feeding on one of these blood dolls, but it's just like this is bothering me.
Okay, all right. Do you feed?
Oh, I had the.
Yeah, you had the shot. Do you feed?
I'm drinking out of a wine glass,
Okay.
and I'm literally sipping it to like show off that I don't need to just down it.
Okay. Very good. Nice.
Yeah, Silas ate before coming to Elysium because it felt like that kind of night.
Yep.
You know, like let's put our best foot forward.
Yeah, you don't want to horf down all the hors d'oeuvres at
Yeah,
the party,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
only reason to go to a party.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
right?
an anarch party, sure.
I
Yeah.
love
But
the
when you're
visual
hungry, you're not yourself.
of like because this is the first Elysium where I think one of the only times that you've all been here and Oliver's been here, so you actually know somebody. Like, so he has people to talk to, and I like the idea of Quinn like half-heartedly feeding on something, and Oliver's just talking to him the whole time. Like,
Silas,
yeah, was that poker night? And like, do you know what he said? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's finally got somebody to have like an actual conversation, and you're just like.
You know, I hear they're going to open up. They're going to close down 2 Canadian Tires on the island, like that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Can you believe that?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like when the brick went out of business.
Yeah,
you know? What are we going to do?
Where would we buy
Where
cheap couches?
am I going to get my furniture from? God, dude.
Folks leave. One thing that you notice is that Chains makes a big show of heading out. Like, he just snaps and like twirls his hand in a very similar motion to what Knives did to get the start the fucking party. He just circles up. Every Anarch like just kind of breaks off whatever conversation they were having, even if they were feeding. They all head out like in a big crew.
Right.
Yeah, like let's go find a real party. Yeah. When he leaves and says that, Monica flips him off. Because
It's like, hey, I worked hard.
Yeah. She's just like. Monica also leaves, sparing you one last glance. And pretty much it's just a bunch of ghouls that are starting to clean up. You four head over to the VIP booth, which is where Knives is. Which is where Quinn is, beckoning you all over. He's just sitting down. He's still in one of his fine suits, with the stitches of the crossed scepters.
Silas is he's got a Tide pen out and he's like working on a blood drop on his collar.
Yeah.
It's like, son of a...
Lemon juice.
And this is why
Fucking nerd.
you grab the glass.
It's like that thing.
really expensive and like...
No, but it's just like, you were talking about before. You're like,
Yeah.
being a vampire is supposed to be cool, and here I
Yeah,
am at a
humor.
party with a Tide pen.
Yep. Yeah.
A boon from a regent.
Is that a...
It's a favor.
Well, I know what a boon is, Jessica.
That's how Jessica reacts
Yeah,
like every time
I know.
that you're like about
I know
to
what
start.
a boon is, Jessica.
Are
I
you-
just mean, is that a big deal?
Yes.
I just want to ask a question.
Imagine if the mayor of a city owed you a favor.
Anything?
Don't embarrass him.
Like, you can just see Jessica going like, oh no. Thinking of the things he might ask for.
I was just asking. I don't understand. I'm sorry. I do not understand the weight of the situation. I am asking questions because I don't understand the weight of the situation.
Weighty.
Okay. Thank you.
We need to wait just a moment. I'm expecting a guest. I have a favor to ask all of you.
Please.
And then Chains walks back in.
Oh.
Comes over, grabs a chair, spins it around, sits down. Hey. The place is... While you were talking to Quinn, the place emptied. Knives took off, like, before the party ended, because they always do. Chansey and the monsters went out to do whatever it is they do. You don't really even know. It's just building infrastructure for the Camarilla. Chains looks around, looks over at Quinn. So, what has he told you so far?
That we were going to have a guest.
Oh, yeah, that's me. We have a mutual problem and we want your help with it. You were very, very effective before, so we need to both ask you a favor. And we'll both owe you.
Like
Quinn...
OS?
Yeah.
And he points to the stage.
Yeah. Yep. Quinn, you hear the creak of leather under the table as, like, a fist tightens. A fist in a leather glove tightens. We have a problem up island that we need taken care of as discreetly as possible. And you all are under the radar enough that it's not going to come down to either one of us, because nobody would believe that we'd be actually working together to ask you to do this for either one of us.
Okay.
You know where Goldstream National Park is?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've been able to keep it under wraps for the most part, but there have been a series of murders that have been happening, and we can't go there. We understand that we're going to be sending you into fairly significant danger, and then Quinn picks up, he's like, there might be werewolves. People have been drained. Campers have been completely exsanguinated and drained dry. So we don't think it's the lupines. Goldstream isn't that far away. But we need you to investigate this at night because it's been happening with incredible regularity and it has been very difficult to keep under wraps. This is the highest priority, and neither Chains nor I want our superiors to know about this. Do you understand that we are both bringing you into our confidence?
Yes.
And you understand the dangers involved in this. Mr. Tyndall.
I don't.
I think I agree that none of us at the table fully understand the dangers involved in this.
Your sire doesn't know. And I don't want them to. Chains goes, yeah, me neither. Because then they're going to blame it on us, and then we're going to have a war. And we don't want that. Neither one of our sides are ready for that.
So, people are getting drained north of the island. And you don't want the Camarilla to find out because they are going to immediately blame the anarchists, correct? Is that
Yep.
That's what we're talking about?
You got it.
They have a tendency to do it a lot.
And so, since the foothold on Vancouver Island is so tentative, that would ignite an immediate war between the two factions, rather than right now where it's just like, kind of
Cold.
Yeah. Correct?
You have it correct, Mr. Tyndall. Chains goes, told you. So, you in? You can pretty much ask us for anything. We have to get this taken care of or else it's going to be real bad, real fast, real big.
We need an RV.
Yeah.
We need blood.
What about silver bullets?
It's not
What?
a bad idea.
Is that a thing? That's the thing, right?
Quinn, puts his hand up and goes, he's the expert. Chains goes, yeah, that's actually a thing.
That's of
That
all
helps,
the things.
that
That's
helps
the
with the
one
lupines.
thing.
Yep, that helps with the lupines.
I wish it made sense.
I understand what we're trying to ask you, especially you. But we're being open, we're being honest. Do you take this, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going with my coterie. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, looks like you all are going camping. And that's where we'll end the session. Thank you very, very much for joining us for the very first episode of Series 3 of Not a Drop to Drink, A Tale of Vancouver Island by Night. I have been Jacob Burgess, your storyteller. These have been my wonderful, wonderful players. Just absolutely amazing. Just please introduce yourselves to the audience again, just to close it out.
My name is Adam, playing Oliver.
I'm Heather, playing Jessica.
Yeah.
Coriander Dickinson playing Jordynne Hatton.
Cameron Lauder, playing Silas Reed.
And just to remind you that everything that we do, especially this nonsense, is brought to you by you at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. This show and a bunch of other of the wonderful shows that we do are going to be available in podcast form wherever your podcasts are served. You can take a look below if you want to support us through any of our affiliate links. If you want to buy anything nerdy, do it through our links. Helps us out. You'll find those in the descriptions and everything below. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for being here. Welcome back to the night.
Later, Fangsters.
Blah. Blah. Blah.
Bye.